Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second match of the day. This is technically a match for week 2 of the start tournament, and we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict here, so we're doing it today, which is, a little more Azure Dreams today, so I hope nobody is having any problem with that. Chai will be joining me shortly. He's taking care of the technical stuff, the countdowns and all of that stuff. But we should be off here shortly. Unfortunately, we do not get to do the whole item guessing and familiar stuff, but we do have two essentially brand new runners here that we're going to get to see face off head to head in a re-entry allowed tournament setting, which is unique. Normally, our tournaments do not allow the re-entry; it's a single one and done thing. But because we're aiming towards the newer runners, the less experienced ones, criteria here is that they don't have a sub 1 hour time on the any percent leaderboard. So we will get to see them duke it out here. We have a little bit of a cropping issue, but that should be taken care of shortly. I know Speed Gaming was on that. There we go. But yeah, so likely what we will be seeing here, actually, quality of life things. That is the main thing that we've changed. This is a continuation of the Stars tournament that we did, I don't a year or two ago, maybe. I'm not sure exactly how long it's been, but I've added a couple of quality life things. There will no longer be the tutorial floor. There's not really any reason to make us sit through boring old Qn dialogue, and there's not really any threat to it, so we'll skip that and just let our runners pick up their starting items in a nice line next to the elevator, and of course we skip Ko's life story here, so other than that, everything else is the basic vanilla game that anyone that's played this game will be intimately familiar with. Um, Same starting items. We'll get the copper sword, the wood shield, the medicinal herb, fireball with 5 charges, the egg that has the palumpa in it with like roughly 80% heat to it, and yeah. And welcome, Chai.
Hello, hello. How
And,
are you, Raven?
sorry, what was that?
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
I'm about to count down our runners,
Fantastic, my friend.
and the countdown has been done. It's gonna be like a minute before the stream catches up, but yeah, we should be ready soon.
All right, so I've already gone over the rule set here, the re-entry, and um, the quality of life stuff. What else do you want to get into right now?
Predictions?
Predictions. This isn't a rando tournament, my friend.
We can have predictions, like maybe any of them will use glitched entry, or I don't know, other stuff like that. Or
Uh,
who will get
s-
epic special?
Now that is worth predicting. Yes. I highly doubt, especially with the matches counting, as in it's not a friendly third. I highly doubt we'll see a glitched entry. It is entirely possible. There's no rules against it. There's not really any benefit to it though, considering that the tutorial floor is essentially nulled out with the items being in a line right next to the elevator. It is always a hype thing to see though, so maybe at some point.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it seems that runners are off. I have also started a timer on my side just in case we've got some timer issues. Uh, I guess
Yeah, I
Raven, you
think
already went through that. Like floor one will not be very exciting right now thanks to the quality of life changes. So we have to wait until floor two for some action.
yeah, it is worth noting though that because re-entry is allowed, there is the potential that we'll actually get to see a floor one and the floor two gosh and or selfie floor. which previous runners have actually put some pretty good use to. I think it's actually worth fighting Gosh in these kind of settings, 'cause you get that guaranteed medicinal herb and you have a chance to get that wind crystal, which especially early on is pretty nice to have as a nice backup, just to be able to keep your items.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is probably the only situation where you want to see Ghosh in the tower rather than Selfie. So yeah, we probably will see that because we know that both of the runners do utilize re-entry. Both of these runners already had one match. This is technically week 2 match, so we already had the chance to see what they're capable of. And in both cases, we have seen that runners utilized re-entry even when they didn't die. It was just like, a strategic move. Like, for example, okay, my weapon is cursed. I don't see that I can get very far like that. So maybe better to go back to town, regroup, and attack the tower from better position.
Yeah, and we actually saw really, really good use of that just a couple hours ago with Troy opting to, I think it was like floor 12 or 13, opting to leave with a wind crystal because it was just gonna the situation he was in was just gonna cost too many resources, and he knew that he could beat that floor count pretty quickly if he started over again with that really solid inventory, and he did really, really well. So having that allowed, there's not really any reason not to utilize that. It is a tool that we're allowing here, so I'd like to see it used.
Preferably not, of course. If you can
Oh,
beat the tower
that's
in a single go, then yeah.
true, true, and we did see that too, actually, for the first time. Plushie did manage to get to 40 within the time limit. Granted,
And
she had
without
already,
familiar.
yeah, yeah, and she had already won the match, but yeah, it's always nice to see a 40 in a tournament setting. And it is a little unfortunate. Chimera did find that diamond shield, immediately equipped it, and it is cursed. It's still a solid shield to have, especially early on. With all that defensive power. But the curse is a little unfortunate, and we might see an early wind crystal if we find one because of that. And an early paralyzed one too. As far as wands go, that's definitely up there as far as I'm concerned.
But like talking about wands, we already have to point out that our dear friend Sand Knight was actually wrong. Thank you, Sand Knight, for being wrong, because that's a good thing to be wrong about. Our runners did find Stream Wand, and that is very, very nice find early on. And about that cursed diamond shield, both of them are cursed now, but if I had to be cursed with some shield in early floors, definitely diamond shield is the one that I would prefer to be stuck with.
Yeah.
We can see that this curse status actually sort of already affects Razor. The fact that this shield is cursed, first of all, mostly like in good old roguelikes, make it so that you cannot remove this current equipment. But there is also a hidden status that curse causes that makes it so that your hit chance is actually lower than it would normally be. And we could see that that Razor actually did have a miss against that cyclone. We don't know whether it was the cause of that curse, because of course everything is RNG here, but probably it was.
The curse certainly didn't help anything, that's for sure.
Exactly.
And curse is a curable status. I mean, it is rather difficult to do. You first need to decurse the equipment with a scroll, and then you need to get really lucky and find a cure-all herb, and that will get rid of the curse status in the tower. Or you can leave the tower and it will cure the status. However, if you did not decurse the item before you leave, the item will still be cursed when you go in. So it is kind of a little bit of a give and take, but it is something to consider as far as re-entry is allowed.
Yep, definitely. That is one of the things that even more experienced runners might not know, because it doesn't happen very often that runners do re-entry. Most of our tournaments don't have re-entry allowed. But yeah, items retain the curse status. That's why you can sell it in the town for a little bit more money, because I don't know why people in Mons Baya for some reason do want to pay more for the curse. Maybe they don't like their neighbor or something. Who knows?
And that nice early wind crystal on floor 4 is a great find. Their inventories aren't particularly strong. They have a lot of like junky herbs and stuff in there, but it is still pretty early.
Mhm.
And they have some pretty good wands to play around with, so they can make a decent climb out of this, but it is nice to have that wind crystal as a backup option in case things go south, so.
My heart just broke a bit. Razor, my pupil, didn't pick up an earth shield. Oh. But no, first of all, many people say that Earth Shield is the worst, and there is definitely some merit to it. Why people think this way? But the thing is that Razor is anyway stuck with a Diamond Shield. He cannot de-equip it, so probably that Earth Shield would just like stay in the inventory. And
He
definitely that's not a good idea to first, should he find the curse scroll, remove the curse from the diamond shield and then equip it an earth shield to be stuck with that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that Earth Shield is one of those things where it can be really, really clutch in certain situations, but it's not something you want to be stuck with.
Oh yeah. It's really good for the upcoming floors. They're currently on floor 4. Starting from around floor 6, they'll start meeting very powerful water monsters, and that earth shield would definitely be good for it. But you never know whether this equipment is cursed or not. And once you reach floor 10, where you start seeing lots of powerful fire monsters, you definitely don't want to be stuck with an earth shield.
Oh, that was a bit of a misstep there on
Oh,
Chimera's side. I think she meant to hit the sleep trap for that sweet
yeah.
experience.
Oh, not
Thankfully, though, they got that nice diamond shield on, mitigated a decent bit of that damage.
luckily for Chimera, the monster that was next to Ko was Cyclone. That's a wind monster. This game has an elemental triangle: fire beats wind beats water, water beats fire. Cuny, our familiar, is fire, as indicated by that small fiery icon, maybe a little bit hard to visible in that state display window at the bottom of the feed. But yeah, Cuny is fire, so it had no problem dealing with the Cyclone. But luckily, we also woke up pretty quickly. Yeah, no danger there at all. Right now, we saw that Chimera can also be a little bit tricky sometimes. Chimera tried to attack the tile right next to her, right like on the left side to her, but the balloon was actually on the diagonal. It happens so often. We see that in all the games. Even like very experienced players can actually make this sort of a mistake. Sometimes you do
Yeah,
have to check a mini map to actually know what is going on.
yeah, especially with long hallways. Sometimes they can, at the right angle, they look like they're connected and you can just walk directly over them. And then you turn the camera and there's like 5 spaces in between them. It's a very easy mistake to make, and it's not something that you ever really stop doing. You get a little better at mitigating some of it, but like Chai said, it is something that I personally like to look at the minimap a little more than I think maybe some other people do for that reason.
I think Razor must have heard my calls for the Earth Shield, because I can see it now in his inventory. Good job, but don't equip it.
This is the new ice shield. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Well, we actually did have a discussion before this match, because again, he, I think, misunderstood my teachings. I'll fully take the blame. After all, I cannot blame the student. It's always the teacher. That like maybe there was a wrong message conveyed, that like, yeah, don't bother with elemental shields. No, like almost everything in this game, uh, everything has its uses. Sometimes the use is a little bit more niche than for other situations. But yeah, definitely elemental shields are not useless.
Oh, there we go. The perfect use for the earth shield.
Oh, again, my heart. Nah, definitely. Again, he's still stuck with the diamond shield, and even if you decurse it, you would have to be sure that this earth shield is not cursed to equip it. If you know that this earth shield is not cursed, I don't think there is any better item for floor 6, 9.
And the thing is, the Earth Shield, at least for me, is kind of a life or death thing. Ooh, the camo shield. What do we do with it?
And there we go. Razor
If
goes to the town.
if there's a situation where I don't know if it's cursed or not, but I'm pretty sure that I can survive a hit that would normally kill me, I will usually take the gamble on it. Whether or not that pays off is, RNG, but that's kind of like literally the life or death decision between equipping it or not. Well, unless you know that it's not cursed, in which case, I mean, then it has some pretty decent uses. There are some really strong fire monsters like this U-boat. The blooms can be pretty tanky. Same with higher level Manivas and things like that. So
Yep. So I think it was due to the curse that Razor decided to go to town, and now he sold that diamond shield. Because again, if he took it to tower again, it would still be cursed. The curse is not removed. The curse status is removed on Co when you go to town, but the curse status on the items is definitely not removed. Now there was a little bit of U-boat dancing from Chimera side, but there was a misstep, and
yeah,
U-boat doesn't like to have his foot being stepped on and immediately bites you.
yeah, it was maybe a little bit of a misplay on Chimera's part, trying to, I'm probably hoping that that was a water or fire crystal, but not having the room to put it in the bag with the U-boat, kind of put her in a weird spot, because if she runs into another enemy in front of her, she's not really going to be able to deal with it all that well. She could use a spell ball or something to drop the fire or the wind crystal that she was holding. But it's still a little rough. Like, she wouldn't be able to use an egg bomb or anything like that. Ooh, okay. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it'll work.
I guess safety is priority. That was probably the idea here.
Yeah, and
And
it gives her that time to bring Kuhn back out and recoup a little bit, because Kuhn is hurting pretty bad here, so.
this is one thing that I also told Razor, and probably many other trainers told the same. That in this kind of setup, because again, the name of the tournament is Starting Tamers, right? So technically, these people are learning how to speedrun this game, even though we've seen an amazing display of skills in the previous match where Plashy got to 40. But still, I think the more important right now is to learn how to survive rather than to be fast, right? Like Sand Knight always says, first learn to walk.
Yeah, the survivability aspect is much more important than the speed right now. The speed will come with practice, but learning the survivability tactics is really what this is about. Becoming a more consistent runner, being able to get to 40 in one go at all is a feat in itself. I know there's a few of our community members have been streaming any % Azure Dreams recently, and a lot of those runs end in catastrophic failure in one way or another. So being able to, it's not designed to be played this way. So being able to, I mean, even get past like floor 6 is kind of one of the points where the developers kind of expected you to realize that you were a little outclassed and to go back and start building yourself up. And there's quite a few of those points where the difficulty really spikes, sometimes really unexpectedly too. Like, once you start running into Krakens, the game becomes really, really unfair really quickly. And learning how to deal with those situations is key.
We can see on Razor's side a little bit of lack of knowledge from floor 1. Tower is randomly generated. Each floor is completely random, apart from few floors. And floor 1 and floor 2 that we are seeing right now are actually predefined floors. We exactly know how they look like. For floor 1, the thing is that there are 4 different layouts and runners technically should know where to go. But again, this is a tournament for starting players who may not know all of those stuff. And in speedrun, where we usually just go for a single climb, we technically never see that predefined floor 1. So it's nothing to be ashamed of to not know this one. I, to be honest, don't remember those layout myself.
Yeah, and even I'm guilty of going the wrong way occasionally on some of them, because there are some of them actually do look pretty similar. As far as the layouts go, one will like you go the left path, and the other one you go the right path. But up until that point, they look pretty much the same. So you can't really blame somebody, especially the newer runners, for not going the right path immediately. Plus, there is the whole you do want to search through floors 1 and 5 generally, because they have the easiest monsters to deal with, and Ko will always enter the tower at level 1. That's part of the progression of this game, is leveling up whatever monster you have, and in this case, it's most likely going to be Kyun all the way. So the more levels you can get on him, the better off you're going to be for your re-entry. So he'll be able to carry you up through these floors much quicker. Being able to, and some of the traps, like the warp traps, will be more of a detriment to Ko than it is to your familiar, who can just kind of wander around and not have to worry about anything at that point.
We can see that Chimera is currently on floor 9, Razor is on floor 4. But Razor actually has not bad equipment. They both have the fireball, but I think, yeah, Razor has white sand that can like give you 1 additional charge. Razor also has a CC that I'm quite sure he will keep until like Cuny's around level 10, 11, 12, and change to water. And with that stream one, that will make Cuny super, super powerful. Definitely a nice thing to have. But on the other side, Chimera has 2 holy bells. And do I see an additional egg? I see an
Yeah,
egg.
there's another egg. Yeah, that could be. I'm not sure what floor it was on, but it had to be fairly recently. So that could be Clown, a U-boat, or kind of like a Bloom, or trying to think of what else would be water element off the top of my head that you wouldn't mind fusing. A Minerva? Yeah. Once you hit floor 12, that could be a really useful egg to hatch and fuse just for the water element, because you're not always guaranteed to find that sea seed.
So Chimera again like holds Ice Shield, but because of that curse on the Diamond Shield, I presume it's not gonna get equipped for a long time. Another time when Ice Shield
Oh,
is not going
and
to equip.
opting to drop the wind crystal.
Okay. I
Okay,
guess we are 20 minutes in, so maybe
yeah,
the plan is that like we don't need to go back to town.
yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, okay, and she picked it
Oh,
back up. I was gonna say she had some other items I'd like to see her drop first, like that sword, that Hazak herb, even the antidote herb, maybe. Before dropping the wind crystal at this point, because 20 minutes, while it is a nice chunk of time, you still have that 40 minutes to get past floor 10 at this point, which is very, very easily possible, especially if you have 3 fireballs and potentially a U-boat egg to come into the tower with from the
and now we know.
get-go. Plus level 7 on Kyun, that could make a really solid climb, so I like that she picked that wind crystal back up.
Now we know that that egg is complete trash. Not only it's an egg of a monster that is more or less completely useless to us here, it's only 1%. I don't think that I've ever seen an egg that low, with
Yeah,
such low percentage. I think it's the minimum that the egg can have. That's very unlucky.
I think the lowest I've personally seen is like 3%, and even it's when you heat up an egg, I believe it's an equal percent chance to get 1 to 4% off of
Yes.
each heat up. So that's gonna take a long time to hatch, and its only real value from hatching it is fusion to turn Kyun into water, which at this point on floor 10 we don't even have the option of doing yet because we can't find the blue collar until floor 12. Though it is worth pointing out that the bloom could be a decent egg bomb. It does have the brainwash ability, which, I mean, it has a fairly low hit accuracy if I recall, but if it hits, could be really, really good.
Razor in a little bit of a pickle. His HP got a little bit low. He was trying to fight a Manoiva, but suddenly there was a Cyclone there as well. He used the Fire Crystal to make it solve the situation, but it still like got him to a very low HP. Luckily for him, he was able to resolve the situation. And
Yeah, and
probably he can fight that balloon still.
we did talk about that in one of the previous matches. The Fire Crystal is really, really cool, but it does have a little bit of quirks with it sometimes. I do believe I saw the salamander that was summoned by it actually it attacked the Maniva and it didn't do any damage. It didn't miss, it just didn't hit at all. And I'm not. Sometimes I believe it has to do with the monster being on an item or something like that. But I don't believe that was the case there. I'm not sure why that was. But it did end up having some value. It ended up killing some stuff in there, so it all worked out. He took a little bit of damage, but HP is a renewable resource that to be a really solid runner, you need to be able to walk that fine line of how many hits you can take, whether going for a lift here or using a resource or just doing a face tank is worthwhile, or if it can be done. And we're seeing some pretty good use of all of these things right now.
I was in a little bit of a pickle. We might have said that fighting those two volcanoes are quite powerful, but she already dealt with one of the volcanoes. The second one will be just a formality. There you go, and the climb continues. Chimera has 5-floor lead. That's exactly the floor on which Razor winded out. I mean that like he winded out on floor 5, while Chimera continued her climb. So unless Razor picks up the pace or Chimera slows down, we can have this lead kept on.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think the stream one would probably be better for the mixed magic. Not only is it giving the
way too early. Think about the
is it?
fact that you've got the Fire Sword, so you have exactly the same multiplier, and Fire Sword simply has higher power. So there is no chance that unless you go to water, that stream wand would be better.
But you're also getting the elemental advantage from the wand, though, right? Plus the mixed magic bonus to begin with from the wand. And Kyun's level 9, and this is awful.
Holy Bell.
Yeah,
Holy
she needs the Holy Bell here right now.
Yeah, I'm quite sure that she wants that egg because that egg looks tasty. Floor 12, that can be something very, very exciting. Or another bloom. But yeah,
the good thing is if it is another bloom, we'll know immediately because it will be identified.
Take the egg. Take the egg.
Take the egg and get out of here. Oh, healing up isn't bad. Traps are a thing in this game.
There you go.
It is not a bloom, so there is that.
And we've got clear path to the elevator, so
now,
there shouldn't be any problem.
The problem here is that this is floor 12, which is where the blue collar would be.
Oh, I guess, yeah, Chimera is searching for it. That's true.
She does have another Holy Bell. She does have a little bit of time that she can play around with and try to find it. I think, though, it's probably not worth trying to find this time.
And there you go, Seeker Scroll. So yeah, maybe we will see the Ice Shield, because that would be a perfect time to use it.
Yeah, this would be a really great time to use it. I think, though, yeah, and I think she's thinking the same thing. It's just not worth...
I saw egg on Razor's side on a spin. I guess Razor saw it as well. Yeah, there you go. And that's level 9 egg. It's not as exciting as floor 11 egg, but it's still good.
Yeah, that still has a lot of potential to be something good. The floor 11 through 19, or
Ooh.
even has kind of like the sweet spot for everything good that you really wanna find.
What are you gonna do about that Kraken? Kraken is something that you definitely don't want to deal with. At
I
least
mean, he
not with a
does
fire
have
kidney.
he has some stuff. He can bind it or frog it or confuse it.
Yeah, there you go. On the other side, Razor is already on floor 10, so he picked up a pace a bit. Only 3 floor difference. There was a small situation for him where Dreamin was
Ooh,
trying to be more than just a Dreamin,
this
but it's
is
now it's over.
bad. Being pincered between two. Okay, it took a little bit of resources there.
I would
That was a really bad situation. It's a good thing that Chimera saw that sooner rather than later. That gave her the space. She had the space to deal with that without getting destroyed by 2 Krakens. They are really, really tough.
You want to deal with that Kraken. Change to Stream Want, and yeah, there you go. And just kill it.
Yeah, the Kraken has a reflect ability or trait. If you're using a metal weapon against it,
Oh, there you go. We
yeah,
just saw it.
it'll reflect a portion of the damage back to you. There are ways around that. You can use a wand, except for a trained wand, because I believe that's made out of metal. Or you can use a metal weapon if you have an earth shield, because that also negates the effect. But it's a nasty little added boost, because they hit like a truck to begin with, and they have like 55 HP, and then they reflect some of the damage you deal back to them. So they're just a rough enemy to deal with.
Did I hear you, Revan, just saying Earth Shield, Best Shield?
Not even close.
Oh, okay.
No.
I did hear something about Earth Shield, you know.
Yeah, it was in there. I did say it had a use. I didn't say it was a good use.
Well, it is a good use. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
that
I mean
again, it's niche.
it is a double use there because the Kraken is water element, so you do take less damage being
Exactly.
wind element, and it negates
Oops.
the shock effect. But
There you
still,
go. Paralyzed trap. Luckily, no septic special here. By septic special, for those that don't know, what we mean is that there is one of the community member called Septic Tank, who is sort of infamous for dying to a paralyzed trap. So whenever somebody dies to a paralyzed trap, we call it a septic special. Those Krakens don't give time for Chimera to think.
yeah, this
He
is
does have 3
becoming.
fireballs, but those resources are growing thin every time she
Yeah,
uses it.
this is really soaking up the resources that she had built up. Each one of them was taking either 2 fireballs or a fireball and a good chunk of HP to deal with here. Luckily, the elevator is in that room, but and we see she's already out of one of her fireballs already.
I would want to see Razor actually hatch the egg. Let's see whether that's gonna happen. I know that he wants to level up a bit more before he goes to the next floor. That's more or less his strategy. But that could be very well time used also for hatching an egg.
Yeah, between encounters, being able to hatch that egg, yeah. And he's on a different tower, so he shouldn't get a one-room floor 12. So theoretically, he should be able to find the blue collar as well.
Yes, there's definitely chance for that. Let's see, like, because if you spawn into a room with, I don't know, 5 Krakens and the elevator next to you, I think that the choice is pretty obvious here. Of course, go for the blue color.
You mean malicious spell, right?
Yeah.
Why can't
There you go. We will see finally Ice Shield being used. Moment of tension. No, there you go.
So close, so
Well,
close.
if you have to choose between Fireball, a fourth one.
Well, one of them is empty.
Uh,
I don't think she dropped the empty one. Both
okay.
that was pretty synced elevator there. And Razor immediately finding the elevator on 11, not bad.
But still, we don't know what's in that egg. I do want to know
Yeah.
what's in that egg.
Yeah, I am kind of curious about that. I do love finding eggs in the tower.
And also, Chimera found an egg on 12, right? So that's also very
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm much more interested in what Chimera's, I believe it's the gray egg, is holding, because that could
Yeah.
be so many good things. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure if if Shawnee instilled the greatness of the 11 to 19 eggs.
I'm quite sure I actually did watch one of the practices between Shoni and Chimera, and Shoni was lucky slash unlucky enough to find the Garuda egg. So, that doesn't make much of a practice in terms of actual knowledge of the game, because Garuda basically changes everything. It's not the same game anymore when you have a Garuda.
No, it is still really fun though,
Oh,
and
it's very fun, but
yeah.
not to like say anything about using Garuda, but it doesn't require that much brain power.
Hey now, come on, don't be that way.
It's just zoom, 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 zoom.
It takes a lot of thought power to go fast, man.
Oh, I'm not saying that like fast. It's about like who clicks faster, right? But the whole
Yeah,
idea
I
is like
mean,
abduct, abduct, abduct. When you
I know you don't classify yourself as a speed runner, so maybe it's a little more difficult for you
oh
to
yeah,
understand the intricacies of that kind of thing.
must be the case.
But anyway, that could be, I mean, outside of a Garuda, that could still be some really interesting things. I'm pretty sure that the U-boat is still in that pool.
Oh yeah,
It could be the precursor to the best monster in the game.
you mean
Uh,
Arachne?
no, we're not that high up, and it's not even. I
I
mean,
think it can be an Arachne already.
already?
Yeah, so it can be the best monster in the game.
No, no.
Come on, it can be the best monster in the game.
But it could also be a clown, which would be a really solid familiar
Oh,
as
you're
well. I
actually
know.
right. It can
Yeah,
be an Arachne.
I know you like the clowns a lot too, buddy.
Oh yeah, I do. But yeah, what Draven is trying to say that I'm trying to stop him from saying is that it could be a Newell. Newell is
Yeah,
really amazing familiar, but basically it's good when it reaches level 20.
well, and
Before that it's just
consider,
okay.
especially on Chimera side, you have to consider that she did not find the blue collar, and
Oh yeah.
if she hatches the egg in the tower, it'll be the same level that Ko is, and she already has a stream wand. So while it won't have the same attack power as Kyun, it will have the ability to heal her essentially infinite MP because it can heal 50 MP from herbs, seeds, and fruit. And it has the same style of mixture magic. So it would be a really solid pick. And assuming that she's not planning to do a re-entry here, that'd be a really solid decision to make if it is the Newell.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely just trolling. We both know that Newell is an amazing familiar. Like you mentioned, it doesn't have maybe the attack power of CUNY, but sometimes you don't need AI1. No, and of course it's also not liftable. That's sometimes a big minus. But regardless of that, the fact that you've got infinite MP and infinite HP recovery with Newell, definitely a good thing.
You are meh, Sand Knight. I cannot believe this. I thought we were friends, man.
Yeah. But I guess we can both agree that the best monster is Picket, right? Oh,
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, if you're
Razor
talking
attack with
earthquake
Earth
percent,
Shield. Oh, beautiful.
and it's okay
And
to
it's not
equip it.
good. But
It's
now
oh,
you should remove it.
oh yeah, yeah. You don't want to fight fire, and you really don't want to walk in rooms with it because it is a bomb trap detector.
Oh yeah.
If you can, entertain for a moment, Shy. I have a knock at my door.
Sure, no worries at all. So let's check where we are. We are actually floor 16 on Chimera's side, and just about now Razor on floor 14. So it seems that there is only 2 floor difference now. But Razor's side, the room that he spawned in is definitely not a fun one. He already changed his CUNY to water, so he has much better chances fighting against these horrible water monsters here. But still, at least take the CUNY behind you. You gotta do something about that because that CUNY is gonna get pummeled by. Okay, Holy Scrolling Newell. Not the worst situation. Yeah, definitely that will like help. At least you have to just deal with the cracker rather than with anything else.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't a bad choice there. The Newell was still sitting in the invincibility tiles there, getting free hits, and then it walked out and gave him a good bit of space.
and now
I
he can deal with that Kraken because his CUNY is water, he's got Stream 1, that Kraken is a little bit softened. Yeah, there you go, 1 hit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
that was
also
nice.
have Earth Shield. So I don't see any reason why we should be scared of Krakens now. The only thing that I would want to see is that, like, in this case, probably don't fight with CUNY side by side. You can take the damage because of the Earth Shield, but CUNY, yeah, there you go, still taking
Yes.
17 damage. That's not favorable. But luckily for Razor, that didn't end up for him badly. In the meantime, Chimera is fighting Garudas, again with CUNY side by side. I don't like that.
Yeah, the Garuda is not another. That's another thing you don't want to fight. It has the super cool ability when it's yours, and also really bad ability when it's against you to abduct your familiar, which is exactly what it sounds like. It picks your familiar up and teleports it away to a random area, and then it beats it up, and that's pretty much it. And in this case, Kyun is still Fire Element on Chimera's side, so it would have at least a fighting chance. Oh, I kind of wish she would have kept that sleeper. That's a unique item to find.
Oh yeah, definitely better than Antidote Her. But on the other side, Chimera doesn't have any space in her inventory, so it's a little bit troublesome to play with this amazing gacha machine like that. But I do like the idea that Chimera picks up the Barong, and now that Barong will be sort of used to our advantage as a boomerang.
Yeah, it is definitely worth. If you find a Barong, even if you already have a full inventory, it can be really worth just to throw something at it to run it out of MP so you can do this and just carry it around. Use it as a boomerang. Because it's out of MP, it can't move or attack, so you can place it in single tile hallways and block off corridors. And it's one of the few monsters that you can really easily run its MP out of, so it's kind of a unique thing to the Barong. And really beneficial to use. I mean, there's no reason to not do it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. In the meantime, we can see that Razor actually did reach floor 16. Chimera left floor 16, so there is only 1 floor difference. And there you go, Leather Shield on Razor's side. Definitely changed to Leather Shield. As amazing as Elemental Shields are, going at this point to Leather Shield is probably much more beneficial. Because we didn't mention it, but defense more or less on higher floors is negligible. 2 points of defense decrease damage by 1. And when monsters hit you for 30-40, that doesn't really make a difference because you still die in 2 hits. So it's much better to have higher chance of not getting hit at all and avoid all the damage altogether.
If nothing else, I'm just glad that Razor's not walking around in rooms with the Earth Shield on anymore.
Bomb detector didn't find any bombs apparently. Broken bomb detector.
He got lucky this time. Usually it's a pretty guaranteed thing if you have that Earth Shield on. You take that one step into a room and you blow yourself up.
Oh yeah. Actually, damage calculation for the Earth Shield works this way: that, like, if you're level 1 and equip Earth Shield and you step on a bomb trap, even if you're at max HP, you dead.
And we've seen that before.
Oh yeah. Oh, a coin outside the room. I wonder what that is.
Can I just comment on Chimera's inventory right now? 3 eggs, 3 holy bells, a Tumnuff. I presume she got rid of the empty fireball and having 3, the binding. She has a really solid inventory. The fire
Oh yeah,
sword, a stream wand for that water strats later on. She's looking really, really solid right now.
definitely. And still, that egg can be really, really something amazing. Although at this point in time, 41 minutes into the game, I don't know whether it's time to hatch it, so we probably will never know. But yeah, same for Razor. He's got potentially very exciting egg.
Yeah, and both runners are actually on floor 17 right now, so Razor could very easily take the lead here.
Of course, our runners don't know where they are, like their opponents are. They are playing in that sense blind. So Razor doesn't know that he needs to get to the next floor to get ahead. But yeah, any kind of this kind of time waste of hatching an egg right now could mean that you lost the lead, and it looks like there may be a lead change because both of the runners are in the elevator room. Who will step on it first? Razor doing some small inventory management, and there you go.
And yep, there goes Razor taking the lead.
Let's switch. Okay, I see that you already switched the audio. You were faster than me. Thank you. You took my job.
I forgot. Yeah, I've been doing all the tech stuff recently.
Yeah, I'm a tech guy. But yeah, we maybe didn't explain it yet, although probably many of you already know the rules of this game here is that whoever reaches the higher floor at the mark of 1 hour wins the game. Should they both be on the same floor, for example, they both die on the same floor, or at 1 hour mark, they both are on the same floor, the winner of the match is whoever got to the floor faster. So that's why, even though previously they were both on floor 17, we're saying that Chimera was in the lead because she was the one who was on the floor 17 faster. Now that they're both on floor 18, Razor was the one who was on floor 18 faster, so he is in the lead.
It's a pretty nice way to break ties. It's not very often that we get a tie like that, but in the case that it does, it's a pretty convenient way of breaking it. So
And now we have again probably switch back of the lead to Chimera because she does have an elevator, and there you go.
it looks like Razor had used star glasses and is doing a little bit of a loot run.
Yeah, actually, this floor is pretty safe for him. His CUNY is water, so there is really nothing scary on these floors for him. Apart from this annoying two antennas monster. It's
Yeah,
not
and
scary in sense of killing you, but it's so annoying.
yeah, they can be really annoying. They have a chance to steal a random item in your inventory. There are a few things you can do to mitigate that. You can somewhat control what item they'll take from you if you have the time to set it up. Or in the case of that, leave a fruit is a kind of a niche thing where it'll leave you alone. It'll hold on to that because it's losing the fireball.
The one item that he definitely didn't want to lose.
Yeah, and that's the item that would really let him be able to get anything else back quickly, because he's going to take more than one hit to kill a picket. And it's a ranged attack. Pickets don't like to stay next to you when they have an item that they stole, so it's going to be a little difficult to get his fireball back now.
And the worst part of it is that CUNY is water. Soon Razor will get to floors with very strong wind monsters. Wind being weak against water definitely is not a favorable situation. Chimera's CUNY is fire, so against those wind monsters, she will have much easier time. But Razor, now he will have to be very, let's call it. He will have to think hard how to deal with wind monsters without a fire spell ball.
Yeah, and there are some of them, like the stealth, he can probably deal with them. He does have the earth shield, which could help him out if he really needs it. And we're seeing the Viper manip on Chimera's side. That's very nice. I love to see that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Vipers are unique in that if there is an egg in the room, they will go straight for it and try to eat it. They don't care if you're, as we just saw, if you're attacking them, you can try to lift them and all kinds of things, and they don't care. They will go straight for the egg every time. And
Every
if you
time? Don't you have some bad memories from them not
no,
going
no,
for the egg?
we don't talk about that,
Oh, okay.
okay?
I'm really sorry.
But yeah, and if even if they do eat the egg, if you kill them, they will drop the egg again. The egg will have a little bit of a penalty. If you hatch it, it'll have a negative attack power, or a -1 to its attack power, or minus however many times it was eaten. But it is a really neat trick. It is perhaps a little time consuming, because you do have to drop the egg and deal with the viper and pick it back up and all that. But it's a really nice thing to be able to get around some, because the vipers hit really, really hard. So it's nice to be able to get around that.
Razor can take lead right now because he spawned to the elevator room, but he's fighting against the wind monster. The one thing that we mentioned might be a little bit troublesome for him. But yeah, luckily he's able to deal with it, and yeah, his plan continues. I would want to see, yeah, there you go, equip leather shield, and Razor is back in the lead. At this point in time, it's still anybody's game.
Very, very much so, yeah. And we've already seen the lead change a few times, so it's very likely to happen a few more times.
There you
'Cause
go.
at this point, it's kind of. I mean, they are in separate towers. Razor is on his second entry, I believe, but it's kind of down to who goes left, who goes right at this point.
Okay. I think Chimera is just trying to get some more experience from that unicorn. Again, his Cuny being fire, him having a fire sword, definitely fighting wind monsters is not bad. But in the meantime, Razor actually has 2 floors lead and another beautiful
3-floor
elevator
lead.
lock. Yeah. So like Revan mentioned, normally both of the towers are supposed to be exactly the same. They are seeded runs, but only on the same tower climb. We've seen Razor winding out, so his tower is a little bit different. So if he has this nice elevator lag, there is no guarantee that Chimera will have it as well. But that makes it a little bit more exciting because we have absolutely no idea what's gonna happen. Chimera is losing actually quite much time fighting on this floor 20, and I will have to ask in the interview, what is the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, she's level 18 on floor 20 is actually, as far as speedrunning is concerned, pretty highly over leveled at this point. And as we saw, Razor did take a fairly significant lead, considering how tight this match has been so far. It's a kind of a significant lead. And with the towers being different, Chimera is not guaranteed to get the same little bit of an elevator train that Razor got. So.
And Razor just found yet another item that will actually help him find the exit. And that exit loop will definitely come in a clutch, but he doesn't need it on this floor. Another elevator, floor 24, 3 floors lead. 11 minutes left. Do not play with Zeus. There you go. That is one thing that I told Razor before the match, because in his previous match, he sort of was like walking up to sleeping monsters to kill them. I told him like, no, ignore them. They're sleeping. Let them sleep. You do your business.
I mean, you just lift them, right?
What if they wake up before you get?
No, I mean you just lift them. Zeus aren't scary.
Oh yeah, they're not at all. What Zoo can do at you? Bark? Razor is in a little bit of a clutch. He's pincered by 2 blocks, and again, that fireball right now would have been so useful. Mahel Seed is probably the way to go. So you equip Earth Shield.
I don't like the Mahel too. Well, okay, if you're planning on killing him, I guess that's the way to go.
That is gonna be very tough for him, because now he's going to get attacked twice by blocks.
Oh, he's lucky there. He's really lucky.
And his luck will probably finish right now.
He
Has
needs
one.
to run away at this point. He can't
Yeah.
take another hit.
And his movement is now back to normal, so he has to be very careful. Now with this HP being a little bit higher, he recovered some of the HP. Yes, pick up that loop. There you go.
And he does need to
Oh,
be on
used it.
the he
Okay.
does need to be on the lookout for stealths, which is easier said than done because they can be invisible. But
But there you go. He
they
knows
could
where the
put a
elevator is. And oh,
and
unfortunately,
there's
there's
his
Zoo.
wonderful.
And you
He
do have an
also needs to
Olim, but
he he also needs to be really careful because that block could very easily paralyze him as well.
that CUNY is dead now. There is
Yeah,
nothing that
he
you can do.
doesn't really have much. I think he needs to Olim and Egg Bomb here.
True. So
Oh, that
CUNY
was
is dead.
perfect damage too. If Kuhn had 1 hit point more, it would have survived.
What do you do? Like, but that egg bomb, that's not Palompa. That's something that we don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
it's not a guaranteed kill by any means. Yeah,
The
it's
problem is that that egg from these floors, that's not very likely to be something fire.
he pretty much either needs a dodge, a lift, or gamble on the egg bomb. I think all three of them are okay. Okay, the
Bloom?
bloom not
Yeah,
quite enough.
unfortunately,
Not
and
quite enough.
Razor goes down. Razor goes down on floor 24. Chimera has 8 minutes to get to floor 25. 3 floors in 8 minutes. That's very much doable. Chimera has plenty of resources. Her CUNY is fire. So again, on these floors, that's probably actually really good.
Yeah, and the matching fire sword to boot helps a little bit.
Troy actually makes a very valid point. Why didn't we actually mention that Zoo could have been tried to be lifted?
No, I did. I said he
Oh,
had
you did? Oh,
three.
sorry.
He either needed a dodge, a lift, or to gamble on the egg. Um, and unfortunately, that the egg just wasn't quite strong enough. Being a water monster, there, it just didn't quite do enough damage.
At least we also know that like hatching that egg wouldn't be anything good. It was
Yeah.
just a bloom. Yet another one.
Yeah, at the very least, we did find out what was in the egg, which is an important thing to know. I like to know what's in my eggs.
Oh yeah, same here. So let's see. A little bit less than 7 minutes for Chimera to do her thing.
Oh, and there's the elevator. This
That
unicorn
unicorn
shouldn't
is
be.
not a problem at
Yeah,
all.
this shouldn't put up too much of a fight here. Oh, 31 damage.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, elemental advantage and yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that unicorn didn't stand a chance. 23 for Chimera. 2 more floors to go, and she can take round 1. Those glasses are very tempting.
I'm quite sure that Razor now thinks like, that annoying Picket, he took my fireball. One thing that like would take me out of this situation very safely. But that is Azure Dreams. Picket sometimes do nothing and sometimes they do the worst thing possible.
And getting our egg back. Very nice. Check the glasses. Check the glasses. No.
Even if not truth, they can be star glasses, and
Yeah,
that's
I mean
definitely
I think
something
that's
that
what
you want.
you want at this point. I mean, she.
Another glass. Oh no!
Oh, what is this? No.
Shawnee, you've got something to teach.
Shawnee, man, yeah, yeah.
Okay, now there will be
If
a problem.
she keeps walking up, it shouldn't aggro, right? It should just
Uh,
go left, I would think.
uh, Probably, but now it's too late.
Yeah, see, it wouldn't have aggroed there, I don't
Mm.
think.
Okay, so one is down. That unicorn will
Yeah,
not be a problem. What about the viper? What do we do here?
yeah, and the thing with vipers, they only try to eat the eggs if they're in a room, so she can't use the egg manip in this particular situation.
Okay, Chimera wins the fight, but all these fights, even though like she wins them, they take time, and
Yeah,
that's
which
one thing
she
that
does not
Chimera
have.
doesn't have. Yet another annoying Viper in a way. I guess using resources at this point in time is like very natural. Just use them.
Yeah, if she's paying attention to the timer at all, she realizes she only has a few minutes left, and it's all about speed at this point. Um, the using the fireball on the Viper is not an ideal thing, but she knows she doesn't have much
Oh,
time left anyway, so
there you go. Small optimization using go up
yeah.
trap.
If you got them, you might as well use them, right? So,
One more floor. 4 minutes for a floor, that's plenty of time, but it all depends on the floor. Some floors are so annoying that even 10 minutes is not enough. And there can be always some monster then. Maybe actually let's switch audio for now to Chimera so that we can hear that sweet 24th floor music.
yeah, carrying the Olim there.
I do like it that you carry it instead of, do inventory management. It's too late in the game to do it.
Oh, didn't check
Don't
that. Could have
check
been
the
an exit
loop!
loop. Oh man, Shawnee, what are you doing, my man?
Oh! A little bit hasty there.
I would have preferred if she just picked the Olim up, but that's okay.
Yeah, that works.
The problem with using the Tumna is that it's still following her, and it will eventually wear off. Though she did find the elevator, and barring essentially an act of God at this point, she should be taking the lead any second now.
Okay. Oh, that's
Oh,
scary. That's
that
scary.
was that was very risky. Yeah, she needs to be careful to not be paralyzed here. This could be over pretty quick if she does.
And don't pick up
And
in such cases.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, and that is round one for Chimera. That was really tight. I wasn't expecting
Very
it to be
close
that
race.
tight. Yeah, our runners are pretty evenly matched here. Alright guys, so while we're getting set up for the second seed, what's going on with chat today? How are you enjoying all of the Azure dreams that we've brought you today? How do you feel about the runners playing today? Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, Sand Knight. A lot of the people that signed up for this tournament are new runners, so we um don't really know what they're capable of, and it's really fun to see how far they get. Oh, I mean, and as far as our runners go, Razor was actually a member of the a member of the last Stars tournament, and Chimera is actually pretty much a brand new member of the community. I think she's only been here for maybe a month. So it's really nice to see the new people are interested in running tournaments and learning what some of the older community members have to teach, and then getting to put on a fun show for you guys. So I'm glad you guys are all enjoying it.
I quickly checked the table, and it seems from the runners that we've got in this tournament, we've got 6 runners altogether. 3 of them actually did play in the last Stars tournament, and we've got 3 new members. So we'll see how the quote unquote old versus new will fare at the end of this one. Whether the uh, players from Stars actually did learn a lot. I would say that, like, from the things that I've seen in these current games, I can definitely say that they improved their gameplay. But let's see the final score. Who will win?
8393
Yes,
for the seed.
both seeds are correct.
Yeah, exactly, Sand Knight. It gets the more potential runners for other tournaments as well, and I think it's a nice confidence boost with this one being quote unquote aimed at the newer runners, and you do really well. And even if you don't do really well, it can be pretty stress relieving to just be in a more relaxed environment and realize that it's all about the fun. Sure, there might be a little bit of a competitive nature for sure, but it's all about the fun. And yeah, we get more potential people for future tournaments and other tournaments. I mean, the randomizer tournaments are really, really fun in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. This whole idea, I guess it was Sand Knight's idea to do the random tourneys. I was a little bit skeptical at first because I was thinking like, nah, way too much is needed from this game. This game is like random enough. Why to make it even worse for the tournament? But I gotta admit that first random tourney, it was just like so much fun.
And I have to admit, I was much the same way. The first randomizer tournament was the first tournament that I joined, and I was pretty skeptical about it for a while. I think I signed up maybe a week before the deadline, um, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. But I guess that is kind of a nice jumping point into the randomizer is open to anybody. We do have a Discord with like 600 some people in it. Um, and part of our offerings is that we do have a randomizer created by Programmer. And it has a ton of different options. You can use previous tournament seeds if that's something that you were interested in. You can make seeds like this, where it's basically vanilla with just a little bit of quality of life stuff. There's also a lot of different like types of game modes, like endurance and survival mode. There's a second tower that was cut from the original game, but is still technically there, just inaccessible. Which is made possible with the randomizer as well. A lot of cool things that you can play around with there, and it's really, really fun. You can even change traps. There's a unique trap that we actually used in the previous randomizer tournament that changes the go ups into go downs, which turns things completely upside down.
Which, let's be honest, that should be the real trap. I don't know why
it
they
should,
implemented
it
a go up trap.
should,
It's not a trap at all.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a good trap. I mean, debatably though, I mean, go down traps were put to some really good use in the previous tournament though.
Oh yeah, I already counted down our runners. They should be moving anytime soon once the delay catches up. Yeah, let's go.
So, Chai, what do you think we're gonna get for our familiar and egg here?
I have absolutely no idea. Um, give me a guess.
Ah, man, it'd be so vanilla if we had Kuhn, right? Like, let's go with that.
Huh? Maybe you're right.
Oh, I am right. How about that? What about our starting items? Surely there's some cool stuff in there, right?
Oh, maybe there will be some medicinal herb, but that's a tough guess.
Yeah, it's kind of a gamble there. You're living on the edge, buddy.
Yeah. And there is a medicinal
Oh,
herb.
wow, you were right though.
Who would have
Yeah.
thought?
Yeah, a little bit of quick familiar maintenance. It is preferable. Most of our runners will play with if they have a familiar at all. we'll put the familiar directly behind them. It reduces the amount of traps that you find because whatever tile Co stands on, your familiar will also stand on after you move from it. So you're less likely to find traps. Though I guess it is kind of bad if you hit a paralysis trap or something with Co. Especially if it's like right in the doorway.
Oh yeah, then CUNY will definitely not defend you.
Yeah, he'll just sit there and watch you die.
So right now we will see pretty much the same thing as we've seen in the last seat. Our runners in floors probably until 5 will try to explore as much as possible to get some good equipment, because as we have seen, fighting at higher floors is definitely tougher without good spell balls or some get out of jail card items. So yeah, while you can still do it, that's probably the best time to explore. And we can see that one of the items actually, like Chimera already found truth glasses. That is definitely beneficial, but Razor found a holy bell. That is one thing that, for example, could have saved him from a situation that he died to in the last round. So one of the nicest items that you definitely want to have. But Chimera will probably find the same items. There you go. There is that holy bell. Like we mentioned, they are both in the same seated tower. So until they move out of the tower, they will meet exactly the same struggles in terms of like floor layout and what kind of items they can find. So it's just a matter of who decides to explore, or maybe like who will hit a different trap, because there can be a go up trap that can actually mess up your exploration. You definitely don't want to hit an early go up trap, or there can be a warp trap like we see right now on Razor's side. That is one thing that I have discussed with him before the match, because in his last match, whenever he hit a warp trap, he was not changing his CUNY's AI, so CUNY was wandering mindlessly through the floor. But right now, Razor has changed AI of CUNY to 1. CUNY is able to fight, and he was actually fighting a troll. Razor should be able to get back to CUNY without any bigger problems.
Yeah, and Yoon should be able to, unless he's going to fight against multiple enemies at once, he should be able to handle himself
We
pretty
can see
good
that
for a little
CUNY
while.
has 20 HP, so that should be enough to fight pretty much everything on these floors.
And the early Wind Crystal on floor 3 is really nice to find as well.
Okay, now that's very scary. Will the CUNY die? I think it might be fighting a
Oh,
flame.
and Chimera hit the same trap, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a rough hit. That probably, I'm thinking, was a
There you go. I think it was a flame. Flame is the only thing that probably could have destroyed CUNY at this level.
and yeah, it might have been fighting multiple enemies as well.
And oh, that's interesting. Razor doesn't think twice, uses the Wind Crystal, but he does have a Restore Scroll. So I wonder
Yeah,
why.
yeah, I'm wondering if he just forgot that he had that, maybe. Because
Maybe.
he's not cursed or anything, so it was
Well,
just
he was actually cursed, right? I can see that Life Shield being cursed.
but he's out of the tower now, so it's identified,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he still had
Oh,
the
okay.
wood shield on. But yeah, I mean, it's with it being, it was only like floor 3, yeah, floor 3 on Razor's side. It's really not that big of a deal, especially if you had the Wind Crystal to just start over. And he can bring in a couple decent items with him. He has that fireball identified now, so he doesn't need to track charges on it, which is kind of nice. And now he can do floor 1 and get another guaranteed herb off of Gosh, and maybe another Wind Crystal.
But his equipment right now is not any different than what he would get originally. It's just that this copper sword is +1. So
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
don't
Yeah.
really see a reason why there was this early wind out.
I would have rathered him take the restore in with him instead of the PETA,
Oh yeah. The only
but yeah,
benefit is that CUNY is already level 3, so he will have a little bit easier time to climb. But the fact is that now he has some floors to catch up. Oh, don't forget to change AI for CUNY. You did set him to AI 1 previously. And we can see also on Chimera's side, I actually didn't notice, his CUNY is dead. So that warp trap was very, very, very tough for both
oh,
wall
and
runners.
she doesn't have the restore scroll.
She does have a wind crystal. Knowing Chimera and the style that Shoni taught her, I'm quite sure that the wind crystal will be used, and that might actually put Razor at some benefit.
Yeah, I know Shawnee is a very big proponent of using the full AI 1 strat, which entails getting 2 free hits with your familiar by using AI 1 and lifting them behind you, and then getting a mixed magic attack in before you actually take any damage. Um, and obviously, without having a familiar, that's not possible in the slightest. So it is pretty likely that we'll see her crystal out, and yeah, yep, that's exactly what she's gonna do.
Yep. I guess the whole idea was to like, let's explore at least these 5 floors. Maybe I'll find some nice items, and only then I will wind out. I don't think that there was a question of whether to wind out or not. The only thing that could have stopped it was restore scroll,
Ooh,
which
that paralyzed one.
oh,
I would have liked to have taken that in with, but having it be cursed, maybe not.
uh, keep Dolim, keep Dolim.
Yeah, keep the egg as well.
CC'd, I would have dropped that. I know that it's a nice way to change element, but
I mean, you
oh,
don't
definitely
really.
don't sell the fire ball
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it still has 3 charges in it, and it'll be
and
identified.
sell Dolim. Why? Those are the items that you want. We'll have to ask about
So
that.
we
That's an
have.
interesting choice of items.
My thoughts are that it was only a copper sword, so I mean that's fairly easy to replace.
CUNY
The
was already level 3, I think, so that can be probably
Oh, that sucks.
another warp
Razor
trap
got
for
flung
Razor.
pretty much as far away as he could, I believe. The good thing is his Qn is level 4. It shouldn't have any problems. There's no flames or anything really
Oh,
dangerous here. Even
actually,
cyclones.
pretty close to CUNY, so no problem at all.
Oh, he was coming up the other way. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
he's pretty close.
Yep. And there you go. Technically, Chimera is still in the lead because she did reach floor 5. But Razor technically can get faster if he exits floor 1 faster. But it seems that like he's having some trouble finding the right exit. So let's see. And Chimera also took the wrong path here.
Yeah, and this is one of the ones that I kind of get confused with sometimes because there is one that has the. I think this might actually be it.
This is the one that has the shortcut.
Yeah, there's one that's with the shortcut. You can walk diagonally through some bushes, and this one looks very similar to another floor layout that gets me every time, which you need to go left and go all the way around for.
And there you go. Razor does leave floor 1 first. That's not a much of a lead, but yeah, technically on this climb it is a lead.
Honestly, I'm not even sure the intended way to get to the elevator on this floor. I've used that shortcut for so long.
You cheater. No, I guess it's normal. To be honest, I never knew about this shortcut when I was playing the game casually, only learned it when I joined the Discord. It's definitely a nice way for a speedrunner. Although again, we don't really see floor 1 that often. At least not in any percent category. In other categories, it does happen.
Yeah, it's a real staple to know your floor 1 layouts in any of the New Game Plus categories.
Look at that layout for floor 3. Just 2 single rooms.
Yeah, if this would have been the first climb, this would have been pretty rough.
Mm.
I mean, it probably would have just used a fireball charge on the cyclone, I'm thinking, and then
Yeah.
dealt with the trolls. But yeah, nice and quick floor 2 though. And I believe this should be the same entry for both runners, so
Yes.
Chimera will find this exact same floor layout when she gets here.
And there is quite many monsters to deal with. Oh, those 3 sleeping trolls. What do you do with them? Do you kill them or do you just ignore them?
Let a sleeping troll lie. I mean, you're level 4. If you were lower level, then I think it'd probably be worth killing them, but you're only getting 4 experience from them.
Uh,
I mean,
I guess now
killing
it
that
makes
last
sense.
one,
Yeah.
Kuhn will probably get up a level here, so maybe it's worthwhile. You do kill him in
Oh,
one
yeah.
hit.
There you go. Oh, and blind trap. Don't go up while being blind. There you go. And nice spawn into the elevator room. But I guess it doesn't matter. On this floor, we will still explore. Because to be honest, we don't really have any great items. Yes, there is the Holy Scroll, but that's
Yeah,
definitely not enough.
it's a strong item for sure, but it is a once and done thing, so yeah, I don't blame him for wanting to look around here. Using the star glasses, I don't necessarily agree with, but I can understand his reasoning. He is 13 minutes into his run and he's only on floor 4 with a
Oh, yeah.
max floor of 4. So I can understand where he's coming from.
Oh, small misstep there. Yeah, just fight the cyclone. It doesn't pose any threat to you with you being fire. These early floors are probably like one of the very few floors where treasure loop makes a lot of sense because you do want to explore. And if you know that you don't need to go in a certain direction, then treasure loop has much benefit. On higher floors, treasure loops are good as well, sort of, because they can give you an idea where the elevator might be. But yeah, if you have a treasure loop, definitely use them here. Star
Yeah,
glasses is probably a little bit an overkill.
now I think. How do you feel about? I believe that Chimera used a Hezek seed earlier, and Razor just ate his Shomaru with Ko. In a normal setting where reentry isn't allowed, that would probably be the way to go. But with reentry being allowed, Ko gets reset with all of his stats back to normal and level 1 on reentry, whereas Kyun will get to keep any buffs or seeds and levels and things given to him. So I think in a setting like this, it would be better off to put it on Kyun.
I think I still would go with Ko because the thing is that like you're not planning to do multiple entries. Like ideally, you just have a single entry, so you want to buff up Ko as much as possible. Especially when you're on a like second climb, because you know the clock is ticking. You don't have time to play around. So I still think that I personally would have powered up Ko with all such items. But yeah, definitely that's a dilemma. In any percent, there is no question. You do want to power up Ko more often than not. Both of the runners are now on floor 5. Poison Ball, that's not a bad ball. That's something that definitely has its uses. It's a little bit slow sometimes, but it can definitely save your skin. The benefit of it. Go ahead.
It's not a good ball either, though.
Well, the thing
There's
is
that kind of
like,
that fine line. It's not really bad. I mean, it has it's a niche ball. I guess that's probably the best way to put it.
I would put it a little bit above niche because the thing is that if your if the monster gets poisoned with a trap, it will only get his HP to around like half. But with a poison ball, you're more or less guaranteed that that HP will drop to 1 so that you can hit it with a single punch. And that sometimes can save your skin.
Yeah, it's one of those things you have to really have room to be able to get the most benefit out of it. And I think the only thing that you can maybe not get down to 1 HP is a Napless. If you let it sit for a while and it gets to full HP.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
know
know, it
that
does do
U-boats can
more.
be annoying.
It does do more damage the more HP you have, so maybe not. I'm not sure.
Because U-boat will not lose HP while submerged. And I don't remember whether Manoiva, when it's transformed into item, whether it loses HP. I think it does, but you still need to walk up to it to kill it. Or maybe like, toss an item at it to deal that final 1 HP damage.
Does it still take HP damage when it's transformed into an item?
I'm somehow feeling that yes, but I wouldn't
know
like
that
be sure.
I know that it changes the color, but it doesn't actually show any damage. Oh, it does.
We'll have
okay.
to check.
Huh.
Okay, and it looks like the first one to leave floor 5 will be Razor, so he officially takes the lead.
The inventory, though, is still looking pretty sparse. I mean, he has the Pillar Ball, he has a Tumna Fruit, and I guess he has the 5-charge Fireball. He's not looking terrible, but he's not as stacked up as he would like to be, for sure.
And probably the thing that hurts both of our runner the most is lack of any good wand, because now their firepower in terms of mixture magic is much, much, much lower compared to what it could be. I don't know whether you noticed, but Razor actually did use Truth Glasses on a Gulfwind sword.
Yeah, and it was cursed.
And it was unfortunately cursed, so that was a good move on his side. He knows that the Gulfwind sword can be beneficial, but can also be something that you have to be stuck with, and you don't want to be stuck with that. So yeah, Chimera still has that Gulfwind sword, so let's see whether she decides to equip it.
I would hazard to guess probably not, but you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be useful on these floors. Everything's water pretty much except for like balloons, so there is that possibility, but I don't think so.
That looks like a little bit annoying layout for the floor number 6. Both of our runners are struggling, but yeah, there you go. There is an elevator for Razor. And that path that he wanted actually to take multiple times was always blocked by different monsters. That's why he had to go around. Oh, but that's a nice find on Chimera's side. That Olim definitely will come useful.
Yeah,
and Chimera still has Holy Scroll that Razor already did use up.
yeah, and those 2-star and an extra Truth Glass.
Oh, there you go. We were complaining about lack of the wand, and you get the Wand of Wand.
For now.
But
yeah, that's an amazing find, especially on these floors when things suddenly everything becomes water. So that extra damage output is really needed to give that little bit of oomph to actually deal with these things.
Oh, that's a lot of additional oomph.
Oh yeah, and it's all needed because these U-boats, they don't play around.
Oh, they only dance.
Yeah, that's not playing, they dance. And then they eat you when you mess up.
There you go. Speaking of that, please change to Scarlet Wand, Razor.
Put the Scarlet Wand on.
There
Cursed
you
or
go.
not. Yeah, cursed or not, that would be the way to go.
2 hits, if I recall right. But those will be the hits that you can... what do you do?
I wish he would have queued up an attack with Kyun. Okay, he got out of there.
I guess that makes sense. He wanted to like get Cuny out of danger zone. That is okay. And there you go. There is an elevator, but
and
yeah,
the white sand on the Pillar Ball there, and finding the Scarlet Wand. all in one go. Chimera looking very strong right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
However, Razor does still have the ever so slight lead right now.
And technically, Razor doesn't look bad either. That Pillar Ball and Fireball, definitely full of charges. Scarlet Wand makes it so that he can fight pretty much anything on these floors, especially when you use Wind Seed. I really do like that strategy.
You saying wind wind strats are best strats?
Uh, no,
Is that what I'm hearing?
that's not what you're hearing. You know that I'm a strong advocate for like use it when it makes sense. Do not throw away a strategy just because you don't like it.
but you,
Everything has its use.
but you do like wind strats.
Oh, I do because I fairly believe that like for floors like 23 to 28, wind is the safest. If you could juggle elements all the time, of course, like juggling between wind and fire would be better. But the thing is, water is weak against wind, and there is plenty of wind monsters there. Yeah, water is also good against fire, which will be on 28 to higher floors. But again, then water is weak against wind. So you gotta be sort of, juggling between these strategies. If you have lots of firepower in terms of spell balls, then probably you don't need to go wind. But it all depends. Razor doing a little bit of a misstep. He could have danced with a U-boat better, but I did discuss this with him, and we didn't actually have time to go through U-boat dancing properly. So I do expect few of the missteps there.
Actually dancing with the U-boat here. All Chimera really needs to do is pick up Kuhn and
Yeah,
there you go, walk
that
away.
was that was beautiful dance.
That
That's how
was
you
a
do
good
the
dance
dance.
though.
Yeah.
That was a good dance though.
But in the meantime, Razor actually did build up a little bit of a lead. I know that Razor will be fighting on these floors. He doesn't want to leave these floors with level lower than 9, especially when you have Scarlet Wand, because nothing really is scary for you. There is no water monsters anymore. I do like using Truth Glasses on Pillar.
I don't know though. I think I'd prefer to hold on to the truth glasses on these kind of floors, just in case you do find that egg.
Yeah.
Because
But
there's
we did
so many
see.
good things you can find on these floors. Knowing exactly what it is lets you know immediately if it's hatching time or not.
I fully agree, but we did see that both of our runners actually didn't really care much for X. They do like playing with CUNY.
Yeah, but I mean, he's he's kind of boring, you know. I mean, he's unique, yeah, but we see him all the time. Let's see some U-boat action. Let's see let's see the best monster, man. We had so many opportunities to see the Newell come out, and nobody did it. I'm so heartbroken.
Again, we had the chance to see the best monster in the previous match today. There was Arachne Egg there.
Yeah, and we did see it get used. I mean,
But yeah, it's a starting tournament. It's supposed to show
we
off
didn't
CUNY.
we didn't even get to see the Newell come out. We just saw it was an egg. At least we saw the Arachne.
Yeah, nobody wants Newell.
Oh, how dare you!
But yeah, I fully agree that on these floors it's probably better to keep one Truth Glasses just in case. Because again, Garuda or many other, like few other monsters, can change the game so much. While CUNY, that boring blue bat, like you called him, is definitely a good familiar. There are better ones as well. And Chimera again, dancing with U-boats. Apparently she does know how to dance very well.
Yeah, and thankfully, because okay, then With Kuhn being over top of it, she did have that turn to use a spell ball on this clown and not take damage, but she did skip a turn there, so Kuhn's going to take a little bit of a bite here. Not the end of the world. But she has proven to be quite the skilled U-boat dancer.
Oh yeah. In the meantime, we can see that Razor actually lost a little bit of his lead because, again, he's trying to level up on these floors. These floors are fairly safe for someone with a Scarlet Wand and a Fire Cuny. So Chimera has a chance to catch up.
Yeah, this is about as safe as it's gonna get.
Yeah. Although she is a little bit behind in terms of levels, she's only level 7 right now, while Razor is almost level 10. If not now, yeah, there you go. Cuny is level 10. So I think we will see Razor leaving that floor soon, while Chimera is still dealing with annoying monsters on floor 9.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Level 10 is kind of the stopping point there. That's reasonable. That pretty much maxes out Kuhn's mixed magic power. Typically, I think it's between like level 9 and 11 or 12-ish is kind of all the same as far as damage from mixed magic goes, so that's reasonable.
Funny fact, if I recall right, actually level 11 is weaker than level 10. Ooh, there is a misstep for Chimera. Misstep at the wrong time.
Oh, thankfully it's only a lowdown.
But there will be the
Oh,
lowdown hits at the worst possible time, and there will be a hit from the U-boat. There you go. Pick up that Cuny, pick up that Cuny. Okay, you can move it.
yeah. As long as she commanded it, that was fine.
Yeah. So that was like a very costly misstep. With so much on the tail, you definitely don't want to take any wrong steps.
And floor 12 for Razor, I believe he's searching for the blue collar. And there it is.
Go.
That's exactly what he was looking for. Now he just needs to find the elevator. Unfortunately, he doesn't have an egg or anything to actually use the blue collar, but having the ability to unlock fusion is a pretty big deal. This is pretty bad, actually.
Razor hits a very bad slow trap. He wants to fight. Okay.
I would have liked to see him put Kuhn on AI 1 and try to lift, maybe. Because then Kuhn would have got 2 attacks off instead of just the 1 mix. And he had the chance to just take no damage at all if the lift was successful.
That was very scary, but luckily for Razor, that double hit from Volcano didn't kill Cuny. The climb continues. Weak. Oh, that's an interesting strategy.
We don't see the weak ball get used very often.
But I guess it does make sense. Although, if AI1 was executed correctly here, Razor wouldn't need to take any damage at all.
Yeah, I think his Kuhn is strong enough that that Volcano, maybe not so much the Griffin unless we use the full AI1. But he should have been able to take out that Volcano with a single hit from Kuhn.
So
actually, with the damage output he has, he might be able to just to use a single AI1 and kill the Griffin there too.
Oh,
and that Kraken.
You gotta use the Tamna.
Yeah. That's a rough one. He has another Tamna, so it's pretty good. And now he can kill this Kraken. That's worth a decent amount of experience.
We can see that Chimera actually also levels up a little bit on floor 10. Even though she spawned into the elevator room, she decided to explore a little bit, get some levels, not go.
Oh, and there's the full AI1 strat there as well. She just showed us. Floor 10's a pretty good place to do it because the experience per enemy jumps up quite a bit from the previous floor. And you don't have anything really scary like the Krakens or the Griffins that you're about to encounter on the next floors. So if you're going to try and level up, it's a pretty good place to do it.
Razor in the meantime reaches floor 13 while Chimera is on floor 11. There is another elevator. That's a very nice elevator luck. There was a
There was a
scroll there.
there, yeah.
If again properly executed AI1 would got rid of that griffin without taking any damage, and you could have checked the scroll. Right now, Razor doesn't have. Okay, he still has one Tamna fruit that is definitely something that can take him out of troublesome situations. But how to deal with this room?
Yeah, he's pretty much relying on just his fire spell balls right now as his go-to items. He doesn't really have much utility. I mean, the light seed is nice for things like the Mules or the Krakens, just so you don't have the elemental disadvantage, but it's not really helping a whole lot either.
Find a blue collar.
Ooh, this is a rough room.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I told him. If you see this room, you exit.
I think you tum to the Kraken and deal
And
with
you
the
walk away.
Mule.
You walk away.
No, you deal with the Mule and go back. The elevator was in that room.
Oh, there is an elevator in that room. I didn't even notice.
Ooh, a floor 11 egg on Chimera side. That could be so good.
Oh.
And she has truth glasses. Oh, this is so good.
Oh, Razor, you are in a tough spot. Okay. As long as that Kraken doesn't turn back, there is a chance for a proper solution.
And it's a Griffin egg. That's a nice backup. If Kuhn dies at some point, she can always hatch that and essentially have a backup Kuhn. That's a pretty good find.
I prefer Griffin over Cuny. They have exactly same capabilities in terms of like magic, in terms of liftability, etc., etc. Cuny, I think, is a little bit more powerful when it comes to attack power, but don't quote me on that. But as you know, Griffins have one very amazing trait. When you have Griffin out, pickets are no problem. And that's something that you cannot simply ignore.
Yeah, and I think Griffins have a little bit less max MP, but that's pretty much the only difference between them.
Yeah, I think MP in such kind of like setup is negligible advantage. Yes, it does have, like Sand Knight mentioned, 20 MP more, but I think ability to not be able to be bothered by pickets is much more important than having those 20 MP.
Yeah, I'd much rather have the picket proof than the 20 extra. Finding the pitas and other random little things you can feed to your monsters isn't too uncommon. And just being picket proof is just so nice. I mean, you only see them on a handful of floors, but when you do see them, they are such a nuisance, and not having to worry about them at all is just really, really nice.
In the previous round, if Razor didn't lose that pillar ball or fireball, was it, to a picket, he probably would have won the whole round. So there you go. That's an example. So now the lead on Razor's side is 4 floors. Chimera is taking a little bit more time dealing with these floors. Now it's 5 floors. But we do know that Chimera so far showed quite good ability of staying alive for a long time. So definitely that's nothing that says that like, okay, it's a game. There is still 25 minutes left in this round, and the situation can change immediately, anytime. There you go. You've got those pickets. Fire Cuny will be able to fight them easily, but it's gonna take more time than when you would be fighting it with mixture magic.
Yeah, I do agree, Sanad. I don't think it's worth the time to sit and hatch the Griffin, just for the picket proof. If it was something that was already hatched, or it was really close to being hatched, I would probably do it. But given the current situation, I do believe Kuhn is the better option here.
Faster option. Let's call it this way.
Yeah, the faster option.
I agree. It's a time waste. The percentage at which this egg is really nice, especially compared to this 1% that we've seen in the previous game. But still, it would take probably roughly 1 minute to hatch it. But yeah, again, those are just preferences. I don't think that like one familiar is objectively better than the other in this case. It's not Garuda versus anything else situation.
Or bad no, There's
Yeah,
there's no there's
we,
no
we know that
comparison.
like if you have Batnel versus anything else, it will be anything else.
Oh, why? Why do you do this, Chai?
There you go. There is the poison
Yeah,
strat,
and that is a
and I like it.
very good way of dealing with Krakens.
Unfortunately, there is another monster coming from the other side, so that's a negative side of that strategy. Yes, it does work, but you need a little bit of a space to execute it correctly. Oh, okay. Now I think if you do AI3, that will kill that Kraken. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but now his Cune's Chimera's
Pick it
Cune
up,
is looking
pick it up, and put it
pretty
behind.
rough.
Put it behind.
Oh, going for the height advantage. Oh, okay, maybe not.
I think Revan Senna is talking to you.
No, Sen. Why? Why are you guys such haters of the bad now?
I
He's
don't hate
so
Battle.
he's so good.
He is very good. It's just that there are few things that are better, like a rat.
No, 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 no.
Unless we are
No.
talking about, underflowing Batnel. That's a thing.
That is a thing, but
Tell me, in a speedrun, in a rando setup, would you go with Batnel? And I know the answer because you already did it. But would you go with Batnel or would you go with a dragon?
the bat now, obviously.
And
I've
what kind
already
of result
proven
does that give you?
I won.
Only because of mistakes.
Okay, I believe that happened twice actually, and I'm 50-50, okay?
Hey, Roy, I just said that Griffin is amazing. That I would pick it up over CUNY. I definitely back you up here.
Griffins are temperamental, yeah. I have to agree with Septic on that.
Just because they send their spells all the time in all directions doesn't mean that they're temperamental. They're a little bit trigger happy.
And as far as Batnell goes, it's really only as good as its tamer. I mean, if you die because it tried to heal you, that's on the tamer, not on the Batnell. It was just trying to look out for you, man.
You're saying that Palompa best familiar?
No, not at all.
Well, it's only as good as its trainer.
No, 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 no. No. The Palumpa is just objectively bad. It's a cute little blobby thing, and that's pretty much all it's got going for it, but
I like cute.
well, then maybe it's better than an Arachne, because it is a spider, and, you squish them.
I don't think so.
Anyway, Razor still has a bit of a lead here. A little 2-floor lead of floor 18 versus 16. Inventory still looking okay on Razor's side.
Pillar ball definitely is something nice,
Yeah,
but
and
has to
having
watch
it
out for
identified.
them spiders. I would want to see him actually fight it because he will get into a bad situation if he gets followed by that spider. But not like that. Definitely okay. Luckily, CUNY went behind. Do not fight with CUNY side by side. That's not the solution.
And it's a little unfortunate that he's still using a wood shield that's negating all of, what, like 1 damage that he's taking right now?
I guess he doesn't have any other option.
No, he doesn't have anything
And he
at
has
the
space
moment,
in
yeah.
inventory, so I guess it's, if you can decrease it by 1, keep it. Maybe that 1 HP will save you someday.
Yeah,
Ooh, we've got 2 eggs on the floor. What an amazing
that's
floor.
you don't see that every day. I mean,
Oh yeah. Pick them
and
up.
it's a floor 16 egg as well. That's super
Ooh,
nice.
a bad spawn for Razor. Definitely not something that people like to see. But I do like the situation that he went to get a height advantage and only then fight the Tweedle. But yeah, now that's something, again, potentially very, very good. But will we see Chimera Hatchet? It is 42 minutes into the run, so probably not.
Uh, the unfortunate thing is that she actually did have a pair of truth glasses and used it on the Palumpa egg just to make space. Oh, and we
Oh,
are
we
gonna
do?
see her hatchet though. Yeah,
37%, not bad.
yeah, I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer here, unless it's a Garuda. I mean, then it's obviously the right choice.
The
But
problem is that Razor again got back his lead of 4 floors, so every second Chimera loses on hatching that egg, Razor will use on getting higher and higher, and he did see an elevator on the spin. So that will be a 5-floor lead. Again, that's not something that is definitely going to lead to Razor's win in this round.
and
But
especially if this is a Garuda, oh, and it's a new. We see one.
so we will not use it.
Probably not. We don't. We do have the Scarlet one. We don't have a Stream one, so probably not gonna see it unless it does still have the use of being able to heal you. And I believe Chimera, or is it Razor? Do they both have the blue collar?
I know that Razor found it. I'm not sure about Chimera. But would that be a definite, absolute, ultimate proof that CUNY is better than Newell?
Well, I mean, given what they currently have, Fune is better prepared for this. If they had happened to have a Stream Wand, I think it would be about even. Kuhn is liftable while the Newell isn't, but the Newell also has the ability to heal you. I think it's about even.
To choose in this kind of setup which egg I would hatch out of Newell and Griffin, I probably would have gone with Griffin. Griffin has a potential to save you much more time than Newell. Newell actually probably will make you lose time. Yeah, it's safer, but do we go for safety or do we go for speed?
The Batnell provides both. Thank you.
You don't have Batnell, my dear friend. You've got Newell.
No, and that is true. That is a pretty defining factor. The Newell is notably less good than the Batnell is. The Batnell does have some really, really good level up stats, but unfortunately, because it starts out as a Newell, unless you're using like some kind of a randomizer setting to start a Batnell at level 1, its stats are going to be pretty mediocre for a while.
We've seen on Razor's side a little bit of
But we
interesting
do.
situation. Oh, there is Newell. There
Yeah,
you
there is
go.
a Newell.
Revan is pleased.
I am and I'm not at the same time. With the Scarlet one, Kuhn is the obvious choice here, I think, but I do love me the Newell.
Am I speaking with Revan?
Uh,
Did I hear
I
from
am
his mouth that,
I am so
don't go
torn right
Newell?
now. I'm so torn right now. Oh, this is awful.
There you go. Right now, there will be a switch to CUNY, I guess.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, probably go back to Kuhn. That's the Scarlet Wand with the mixed magic, the fire mixed magic is just too good to pass up, and that is probably a Maneva.
Yeah. Ice Rock in such situations actually. Oh, there is another Manoiva there for sure.
Okay, so the coins are not a Maneva, but that herb is definitely one.
And we do take out Newell again.
Yeah, and this is actually I think a really good idea because you can take these 2 hits and then just heal yourself up on the next floor.
Unfortunately, it's the first herb that was Mano Eva, so we have to take 2 hits. But yeah, that's a situation where Newell definitely will come into play because we can just heal up very easily. So yeah, I'll give it to you, Revan. Newell has its uses.
Oh, don't give me the pity vote now.
But the thing is that while we have only 13.5 minutes left, Razor does have 5 floors lead. Both of them know where the elevator is, but it is
Yeah,
very little time. As long
I,
as like Razor doesn't die and just continues his climb, he
yeah.
probably can keep that lead.
I think, yeah. Unless Razor dies, because they're on the same tower entry, I think Razor's pretty much gonna have to die here for Chimera to take this win.
And there are glasses and other glasses. I do like them. Unfortunately, it's just truth. At this point, truth is not what we want to see. We do want to see star glasses. Okay, Chimera did see that elevator and the spin, but this is this very, very bad floor layout.
Yeah, and oh, and it happened again on Razor's side. That single entrance, that is a rough
Oh,
room to start in. Thankfully,
you
the
do want to
monsters
exit.
are,
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was so nice. I
yeah,
really did like this situation that instead of fighting, he
oh,
just, oh, there you go,
and he makes
elevator.
the right choice. He makes
25,
the right call.
6 floors lead.
And
Chimera should get to the elevator soon. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we are fighting Zeus, but we should be able to handle them in a single go. There you go. That's the power of a Scarlet one. That's the difference of having fire CUNY on these floors rather than water CUNY.
I
But
think with a single AI one, you might be able to take out a zoo without any
oh,
risk.
yeah, that's what Razor just did.
Yeah. Okay.
There is
Perfect.
always a risk because you can always get a miss and stuff like that. But yeah, you can more or less avoid damage if everything goes smoothly. Check the wand. Unfortunately, it's not Dream Wand. I would still have taken that life wand. I know that there is very
I
little time.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I'd just leave it.
Just in case, because again, starting from floor 28, uh, being water probably is better than being fire. Yes, with Scarlet Wand, fire is still very powerful, but you know, if you do decide to go water, it's better to have actually life wand than Scarlet Wand.
That is true. Yeah. He doesn't really have a means to go water though, but that could always change in
Yeah, you
any
can
one of
always
these
find
rooms.
Cs. That's why I was thinking like he's got so much of inventory space. I would just
Yeah,
pick it up.
yeah, I do have to agree. Because he has all that open inventory space, it probably is worth picking up the life wand. Just in case he does find that C seed.
5 floors lead on Razor's side and 11 minutes left. Uh, being water in the Viper town with Newell is definitely good, but again, having that Scarlet Wand actually makes it so that your water attacks are weaker against water monsters.
Yeah, there was a massive damage difference there. It was only 22 damage to the that Viper there. Now, granted, the didn't have the elemental advantage because it was water,
Razor
but
did see elevator on the spin, so there will be floor 28 for him. That is a really nice climb. That's gonna be really tough for Chimera to like catch up. But like you mentioned, they're both on the same tower, so whatever Razor has lacked with the elevators, Chimera should have as well.
and we did make the switch back to Kuhn.
Oh yeah, definitely against wind monsters. There is no discussion here. Razor is waiting for that Mano Eva to wake up. He wants to go in that direction, but oh yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
I was
Now
waiting
Mano
for it.
Eva fine.
I was waiting for it to turn around.
That would definitely not be a fun thing.
Floor 22 for Chimera now. I'm not sure what floor it was, but she's very soon going to be entering some really nasty starting rooms.
Oh yeah.
And she does have that pillar ball that saved Razor and the one with the block and Zoo. So
She has only one
hopefully,
charge in it, but she
yeah,
does have
hopefully,
Ice Rock that Razor never had.
true, yeah. She has eggs that
Yeah.
Razor doesn't have as well. So she
Razor
has
just had a
tools.
big find. He found the blinder ball. That's really amazing. We did discuss with Razor Mano Iwajukin, but I guess it's a little bit. I told him that like you gotta practice it. So I presume he's just not feeling comfortable using this strategy yet. But there you go. That blinder ball comes into use.
It always feels bad using them on the Minerva because they have low aggro range to begin with, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Chimera tried the double egg on the Viper, and they only like to eat one egg.
You say? How do you know that?
Oh, I have experienced that, and unfortunately, Kuhn paid the price for it there.
We do have. Oh, watch out! Yeah, Razor. That's your Mano Eva. But you do have blind. You
Yeah,
do
he's
got a
still.
blind. Take another hit and walk to the elevator.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt, but at least he'll still be alive. That's pretty
Yeah.
much his only option here. He might have been able to use two pillars, but
Pick
that's
up Puny
just
and walk
yeah.
away. There you go. Beautiful. Leather shield.
And
Pick it up. Pick it up. Oh, leather
oh,
cartel is displeased. But I do like that star glasses. The thing is that Chimera will have a very, very tough job catching up. There is 6 floor difference. Razor has star glasses. Not gonna be easy to catch up. And like you mentioned, there are those nasty rooms, starting rooms. And there is no pillar ball anymore.
no, yeah, that's. I mean, like you said, she does have the ice rock, and she has the holy scroll and some eggs and the tumna fruit. She has other tools to get out of there, but it won't be quite as simple as Razor made it look with just a single pillar ball and walking away.
Does take time. There is only 6.5 minutes left. If you want to catch up, you almost gotta do 1 minute a floor. And that's not simple task. Oh, that Naplas falling asleep at the wrong position.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's always. I hate following Naplises. It's perfect if they're following you because they do have the ability to just randomly fall asleep for a while. But
yeah, you
it's
can.
never a good thing to follow them because they have the ability to fall asleep. So you end up skipping turns waiting for them to wake up. Something comes up behind you, and suddenly you're in a really bad spot.
Razor had a room with 3 loops in that room, and one of them was probably Manoiva. So luckily for Razor, there was nice tile of one tile of a space where he could sleep through, and he was able to exit that room. He knows where he needs to go. He did have a star glasses, but there is this unfortunate chaos trap now. Oh, and there is unfortunate Naplas. But you can,
He can
yeah,
use that height to his
yeah. There
advantage.
you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice. Chimera on floor
Oh, yeah.
24.
And she used the Holy Scroll to get out of that. Very nice. That was
Uh,
even faster than the Pillar Ball, I would think.
yeah. And we've got floor 30. Oh, that's a horrible room to
Oh,
start.
yeah, this is awful.
And can you survive that? I don't think
No,
that polar ball is enough, is it?
no, it's definitely not enough to kill. Oh,
Oh!
one hit point. Oh, he needs to not miss here. Okay, he's still alive, and that's what matters.
uh,
But
Puny
his
is
Q
dead.
is
Yes,
not.
it's
His
okay.
oof. This is gonna be even harder now for Razor. He really couldn't fight too many things beforehand, and now he pretty much can't fight anything. He can maybe fight
Don't make
one thing.
mistakes.
Yeah, missteps
There
are
is
gonna
a
be a very
ball.
big thing
Do you
here
go
now.
for it? There is an
Yeah.
exit on the other side. So, oh!
Oh, and
Oh!
it's only a weak ball. Oh no, this is bad. I don't think he survives this.
Um, I don't think so either. You go down. Probably here. What do you do?
Oh, I mean, He can blind and hope that he gets a miss.
Pillar is not enough.
He needs so many dodges here.
Yeah,
It's
no way.
insane. Yeah,
So
Razor
Razor
down
goes
on
down
floor
to third.
30. It
There
is
is,
still possible for Chimera to get to 31. It's going to be very tight, but it is possible.
yeah, we need 5 floors in 3 minutes 40 seconds. That's gonna be very, very tough job, but very much doable. I don't recall having very much good elevator luck in this next floor, so that probably works in Razor's favor. But let's see what Chimera does. We definitely don't want to say anything yet. And those prism traps don't help. Septic special? Do we get septic special?
By Newell, does she
Newell dies.
survive?
Yeah.
Okay, she survived with
Oh,
only taking the one hit, but I don't know if she can survive another.
I think there was a misstep here because there will have to
I
be
think so,
another.
yeah.
But okay, Tamna.
And she still has to
Unfortunately,
take a
yeah.
hit, though. Okay, just barely she can survive this. She cannot afford another, not even one misstep at this point. And she can't afford to be. Oh, no, the misstep.
Oh, Ice Rock. Ice Rock is the only thing that can save you. Griffon will not
Yeah,
be enough.
the
Medicinal,
medicinal,
nah.
if you get the dodge,
Nope. Ice
she
Rock.
needed a
Ice Rock.
dodge there.
Oh
Oh,
no no no!
no.
Don't
I think
touch.
that was
Don't touch.
the
No, that's not
and
gonna be
this
enough.
this is risky even if it does work. It could hit the frog,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
there you
not
go. Chimera
enough.
goes down.
I was really close to killing it though. I think they have 80 something hit points, like low 80s. Razor takes round 2. But we do get to see the unfriendly third. I don't see any mods in the chat, and I'm unable to do the poll, but the last few matches we did have a poll going for the third match, which was pretty fun.
So yeah, we are working with our runners to load the third seed. But what do you think so far, Evan? I really like these games.
Yeah, these have been much closer than I was expecting. I've seen Razor play a few matches in the previous Stars tournament. I know he's had a break and not played in a while, but I kind of had a gauge of somewhat of his skill level. But Chimera was completely out of the blue, a brand new community member. Very graciously agreed to sign up for this tournament after I mentioned it to her, and yeah, I'm very pleased with both of the runners. This was very close, very entertaining, and the fact that we get an unfriendly third, I think, is even better. What's the? Do you have the seed number? They're both about ready for that.
I do 97651.
So,
Okay, so we can almost see the seed on Razor's side. 7651, that's correct.
and Chimera is also the same. Okay, so we don't have the prediction ability with the like the poll, but what do you guys think is going to take round 3? I think it's legitimately a 50-50 at this point. Both runners have shown some pretty good skill. The lead is swapped back and forth multiple times in each run, and it's been within a few floors of each other for the most part. So I'm not sure who I have in this.
And I gotta admit, I mentioned earlier that like Chimera is a little bit slower, but probably like has a little. It looked like she had a little bit better skills to survive the tower longer. But I gotta admit, Razor in this match did really really good job, and he went down to a situation that probably even super experienced runners would have gone down to, because there was really nothing that he could have done.
Are you sure though? Are you really sure?
I'm sure. What am I sure about? Sorry, I was like focusing on something else.
Nah, I'm just yanking you a little bit
Don't yank me.
Because Razor's your guy, so every little mistake he makes, I'm pinning on you, Chai.
Uh, yeah, so how do you explain the fact that Chimera used Newell over CUNY?
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Didn't you say just yourself that Newell in this situation is so much worse?
In that one very specific situation, yes. Yes, I did say that. But Chimera's not my pupil. Chimera's actually matched up with Shoni. And from what I've seen, she's taken some of the things that Shawnee is known for. The full AI one. Was Chimera the one that used the weak ball?
I think Razor actually used the weak ball, but not for what Shawnee teaches to use weak balls for. Shawnee uses weak balls as a scout thingy, which is some kind of a niche
Yeah,
usage.
I
Razor
mean it
actually did use
works.
it to soften up that volcano a bit.
That's right. Yeah, it was the volcano on Razor's side. That's right.
Yeah. So I think we all predicted correctly that again we'll start with CUNY and our starting inventory will be pretty much the same. And again, first 5 floors will be just gathering the inventory. It was pretty dry, I would say, on both sides for quite a while until we found that Scarlet one. Before that, there wasn't really anything that amazing. So let's see how it's gonna be right now.
Yeah, and that is one of the benefits of being able to re-enter the tower in situations like that where you've only found one or two items, and especially if they're single-use things. Sometimes just resetting the tower, if you're able, is just a better option.
Yeah, in Razor's case, actually, the tower reset didn't really bring him that much of a benefit because he had his second run with exactly the same starting items as he had his first one. But yeah, we've seen that actually being used in this match from both runners. Re-entering the tower does give you the benefits. Sometimes. You lose
Sometimes,
some
yeah.
time. You lose some time, but you may get simply better items. We didn't see Garuda egg yet. I don't think that like anybody in this tournament got it. And I'm just wondering, like, will our runners use it? I know that, like, if, for example, Troy or Plashy would get the Garuda, they would definitely use it and probably to its quite good potential. But I'm just wondering how these new runners would go with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I know that before I started delving into the speed running for this game, I thought Garuda was a pretty worthless monster and never used it at all. And then I saw what it could do, and I'm like, oh. And it just completely changed everything. So I think it really comes down to whether they know about how good the Garuda can be or how comfortable they feel with using it. So, like you said, I think we do have a few runners like Troy and Plushy would probably use the Garuda. Um, some of the other ones, like Chimera, especially being completely new, I don't know how she would handle having a Garuda.
Exactly. That would be very interesting to see. We can see on Chimera's side that she already has found the Restore Scroll. That's definitely item that you do want to have. Razor didn't find it. I think he didn't explore the floor 2 fully, and that's and she also found an Olim, although that might have been floor 3 find. But yeah, that restore scroll, that gives you some kind of safety. It gives you a place for some mistakes, and we know that mistakes happen. Or it can be also a strategy. We did see one match where Lady Dema actually sacked her Cuny to keep the U-boat up so that she could destroy it with a spell bolt, because she was not able to take a hit from a U-boat. But luckily for her, she did have a restore scroll, so that was something that actually did save her run.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice. It's not every day that you have an option like that, but that was kind of the only thing that she really had going for her at the time, and she did put it to really good use. So kudos to her for that.
Definitely. I remember that like this was a very funny situation that she did take a hit and stepped away from the U-boat. U-boat submerged. She did take another hit to like get
Yeah,
that U-boat out. Stepped away. U-boat again submerged.
yeah,
That
they
U-boat
were
really didn't
really
want to
mean.
stay up.
They were really mean to her in that run.
So right now we can see that actually Chimera is in a little bit of a lead here. She did enter floor 3 faster, and it looks like she already explored it faster. So that is a little bit surprising to me, because so far we saw that Razor can be a little bit faster than Chimera, but again, it's just
Um,
first 5 minutes, so
Chimera also gambled on the wooden wand there. I really don't like the wood wand. It has nothing going for it other than a little bit of extra damage from the mixed magic bonus.
oh, lots of extra damage on higher level.
On a higher level, yeah, but she's only
Oh yeah.
level 4 right now, and before that she was like level 2 or 3. This early on, it's just not worth it to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I fully
and
agree that it's a little bit too early for that. And I presume you wanted to mention that it can always be cursed, and then you would be stuck with it.
exactly, and then you find the Scarlet or a Paralyzed Wand or something, and you can't use it. So, and in this case, they don't have an early Wind Crystal yet, so they'd just be stuck with it.
While I do agree that Paralyze Wand is definitely better than Wooden Wand, because it does have an additional benefit, there is this random paralysis. I think Sand Knight said it once in a very nice way. If your strategy is based on the fact that you will get the paralysis, probably your strategy is wrong, because how does it differ from, I don't know, hoping to get a dodge? Right? So,
It has it has different percentage odds.
uh, what is the
the
percentage for paralysis?
I think we looked into that at one point. It's either 1 in 8 or 1 in 16. It's actually not that uncommon.
I think it was 1 in 16, but I don't remember for sure.
It's not terribly uncommon, especially compared to like the seal wand, which is like a 1 in 200 or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. And still gives you useless status.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, perhaps not as useful as the life wand. Definitely not as good as a matched elemental wand, but I do really like the paralyzed one. And if I
Oh,
find one early, I'm liable to equip it immediately.
oh, I fully agree, because the thing is that this paralysis wand will paralyze every now and then. And when it does paralyze, it usually saves you some HP. And that saved HP can sometimes mean life or death. So, yeah, I definitely do prefer paralysis wand, but I don't put it that much over the wooden wand, because in the end, there is a huge gap between elemental wands and non-elemental wands, and only then there is like a small gap between, for example, paralysis and wooden. At least for me. Yeah, what Sand Knight says, basically. Razor is having tough time with balloons. He already had to use one of the medicinal herbs because he had a little bit bad
He
luck
he
with
could make
healing.
some good use with Kuhn and the water ball here. Put Kuhn on AI 1 and use the water ball on him, and he would take very minimal damage.
Yeah, but I'm not sure whether Razor is aware of this strategy, so... Or, there you go!
Or maybe he is. It
Maybe
did look
he
like
is.
he commanded Kuhn to move though, so I'm not sure what exactly he's
Because
doing.
now those balloons are actually aggroed on Ko, but yeah, just step away, just step away. Okay. You don't want to waste too much time, I get it.
Oh yeah, Kuhn is only doing 7 damage, but still, he's only taking 1 with the water ball effect.
There you go. Balloons are taken care of. Chimera is already on floor 5, dealing with some pesky Manoivas. With a wand, it's still a bother, but it's not such a big bother. She can deal with them.
Yeah, she can still pretty reliably deal with anything on these floors. Floor 6 though, that might change up a little bit. Things like the bloom she can probably still deal with fairly reliably, but as good as the leather shield is late game, it's maybe not so good early game, so things like the U-boat are going to be a little tough for her to deal with.
That is interesting from Razor's side that he's actually not fully exploring all of these early floors. And he's actually like even doing it slower than Chimera. Chimera is already on floor 6. But at least Razor, we can see that he did find an Olim fruit and a Tamna fruit. He only has one. Oh no, he has 2 Tamna fruits. Sorry, my bad. So the only difference in the inventory is that restore scroll. That's not that much big of a difference as long as you don't let your Cuny die. You probably don't need it. But I guess this is as simple as saying if you want to win in this game, just don't die, right?
Yeah,
So
just don't get hit.
And there you go, there is an elevator, but I presume Razor will still... Oh no, actually, yeah, he's gonna continue exploring, letting the Manoiva go in the other direction. What is this shield? It's a leather shield.
Oh,
The
that's the
one that
leather shield, yeah.
Chimera found, and immediately equipping it. I guess that's the right move. Like, if you want to be stuck with a shield, leather is the one. Like we mentioned early on, it's not the ideal shield. But yeah, it's something that you can be stuck with and probably be okay. And there you go, you've got those blooms that were supposed to be fairly easy for Chimera to deal with, and Chimera actually does need to use a fireball on it. Because blooms, they hit quite hard. And they have also quite much HP. If I recall correctly, it was 37?
36, 38, something like that, yeah. It's a nice chunk of HP for this point in the game.
We've got a question from the chat. Do you feel like answering that, Revan?
How many levels were in the tower? There are 40 floors in the vanilla tower. 40 is the top. You encounter the big bad boss guy. Do all of that
Spoilers!
stuff. What do you mean? What do you mean spoilers? I didn't say who it was.
If you watched the previous match today, you do know who he was.
Yeah. There is the option. If you join our Discord, there is a randomizer that you can unlock the second tower, which I believe goes actually above 90. I think it's infinite, isn't it? If you like reset it and everything.
It's technically infinite, but the game is designed this way that like if you go to the floor above 99, it goes back to 99. So you'll like have the same floor over and over and over again.
Oh, okay. So technically infinite, but it kind of maxes out at 99. But yeah, that is an option that you can play the second tower that will obscure all of the items. So, for example, we know we have a pita and 2 tumna fruits. In the second tower, those would all have green text around them, and they would be like little hearts, so you wouldn't know what they were until you used them. But yeah, in standard in this tournament style, and for most, well, actually for all the tournaments that we've ever done, there is a 40 floor cap to the tower.
Chimera is now in a little bit bad situation again, bothered by blooms, but this time from both sides. Has to use 2 fire charges. That's definitely quite expensive. In the meantime, Razor goes to floor 6, so he's 1 floor behind Chimera. And another fireball charge. I think that fireball might be quite empty right now.
Yeah, I haven't been counting charges, but from the sound of it, it maybe has 1 or 2 charges left in it at most.
I know that there was one more use of it for sure. Okay, and this is probably the last charge.
And this just goes to show the drastic difference between a standard wand and an elemental aligned one. In the previous match, or in the previous seed, they didn't really have too much problem with the blooms and other things like that with the Scarlet Wand, or even like a fire sword for that nice elemental damage boost. But just having just a 1 attack power wand with the mixed magic bonus makes things a little rough here.
Interesting thing on Razor's side, he did spawn into an elevator room, but he opted to actually explore the floors. I presume what he's searching for is just some good wand, because again, like you mentioned, that wooden wand doesn't give you that much benefit. So he probably feels that, like, I don't want to go higher without a proper wand, and there is some wand here. What is it?
Another wood? Oh man.
So that's a bust. But I guess
Yeah, I kind of like that, especially with as close as the rooms are. If you can see another room is really close to you and you spawn in the elevator room, I don't dislike the idea of going and checking it just to see if there's something good there.
Speaking of
and then
wand,
just heading back.
yeah, Chimera just found what they both are searching for. And suddenly her life probably is gonna be much, much, much easier.
Yeah, Scarlet Wand on floor 8 is a very nice find. Suddenly these blooms went from being somewhat troublesome to just a little annoying, I guess.
10 Knight. Boo. Boo.
Oh, and this is what I've been dealing with, man, for like the past 2 weeks.
What can you do? We still like him, right?
Oh, he's a great guy. He's a great guy, but he just kills me sometimes, man.
I know. And there it was. Scarlet for Razor as well, so immediately equipped. And now they're both on floor 8. They're on equal footing now. There is that golf wand that I would have picked up. We'll have to talk about it, Razor.
Don't go putting bad ideas in his head now.
But wooden wand, golf wand. But yeah, now
what is the one that is that the golf one that Chimera's holding right now?
I guess so.
Oh, it's a stream one, even better.
Yeah, definitely, you do want to keep that. Because when they do go water, that's gonna come in use. Although we did see, unfortunately on Razor's side,
oh, that well-placed frog trap. Look at that.
Yeah, you gotta go up being a frog. That's not fun, but
yeah, that's just really risky. But look at that cute little frog picture.
Oh, luckily for Razor, it's right next to the elevator, so he will have to take a hit, but you have to take that hit. You don't want to let CUNY fight that U-boat. It's gonna be dead. And Chimera gets the same trap.
But she had the time to wait it out, so she'll be able to deal with this U-boat in some way. And a floor 10A on Razor's side. few good things you could get out of that. Not quite the Garuda threshold, but it's still U-boat clown territory.
But Razor never did find that stream wound, right? So
No, he
that's
didn't.
beneficial for Chimera. But again, in the last round, it was clearly obvious that being fire for wind floors is actually beneficial. A little bit of a misstep with a dance on Chimera's side, and now she actually had to take 2 hits, but one of them is neglected thanks to Leather Shield. Leather Shield Cartel is pleased.
Now the question is, are either one of our runners here going to hatch this egg?
It can be a Newell? I think it can, right?
I'm
No, it
not
cannot.
sure. I don't think so. I don't think
Only
until
U-boat
floor
and Clown.
11.
Yeah, U-boat and Clown. And I just noticed that Troy's comment that hurts me a lot. Buddy, I supported you with your Griffon, and that's how you pay me back? Horrible.
Oh man.
As Zero dead. Why do they keep the Wind Crystal? Because the rules of this tournament allow re-entry. Should they decide, they can go back to town, regroup, and climb again. And should they, for example, lose their familiar or be in a situation where they'll surely die, winding out might be a better situation. So until certain time, I'm quite sure that both of our runners will keep that wind crystal, probably around like 30th, 35th minutes of the game.
Yeah, that is a unique feature of this specific tournament. That it's aimed at the newer runners, so we're allowing the re-entry because doing a single tower climb, while incredibly fun and as enjoyable as it can be to watch, it is also really hard to do and really volatile. So we're giving them the option to to try again, whether they crystal out or whether they die. Yeah, the option is there. So yeah.
Roy, and how do you get rid of Krakens? You use, for example, lowdown mixture magic, and that's wind. How do you get rid of Vipers? Exactly the same way. And if
You
your
don't
familiar is wind, you can sword mixture magic, all of it.
you don't need a golf one for lowdown.
Yeah, but still wind. People hate wind.
I love wind, just not in any percent.
Oh yeah, definitely not in any percent. But again, even in this kind of setup, where you do play with your familiar, if I find a golf wand and I find the right seats and I have a way to go back to water,
That
I
is the
do
key.
consider-
Yeah,
I
that
do
is the key. You
consider
have to be able
going-
to. You really need to be able to undo the wind. While useful on certain floors, it's kind of a death sentence on others.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you, Detroit. I'm waiting for it. Yeah, also Demon. Orlando Bloom strat. Horrible strat, but no, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good strat.
It's it really falls off at the end of the tower when things aren't liftable anymore. Until then,
Yeah.
it's really fun actually. But
Until like floor 25, 26, it's very good strategy. I can see that Razor is having a little bit of a trouble being blind. I think he's fighting a bow troll.
it looks like it, yeah, from the sound of it.
Did he use water on the right thing?
Oh, that is that is the question, isn't it? It looks like he did.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
That could have been really bad otherwise.
Oh yeah, he knew what he was doing. I just didn't see when he was blinded, so that was a good decision. And that water protection is still there. You can continue using it.
The unfortunate thing about that is that I don't think it lets you know when it wears off. Oh, there it goes.
does
It
let
just
you know.
yeah. when you start taking real damage again.
No, there is actually a text in the text box that says like, okay, CUNY no longer has protection of water or something like this. Both of our runners are on floor 10, so there is no like one definitely being ahead of the other. But Razor is just about to probably go to floor 11. Or no, he will still probably level
Yeah,
up.
he's probably gonna go for at least one more level up, judging by his previous seeds.
We need to discuss Razor a little bit of how to deal with bow gun trolls, because I can see that they hit you way too often.
You gotta throw a malicious scroll out.
Exactly, that is my strategy. Revan is laughing at me because I died to such strategy once. So is it now the time again to talk about Vipers eating eggs?
Uh, I should have known. I should have known.
And Chimera takes the lead. Chimera is the first one to leave floor 10. They're both
It's
level 10.
it's too soon, Chai.
Too soon. It's like what? 5 months. How much time do you need?
I'm a sensitive soul.
Do you see what I'm seeing, Revan? Look at Chimera's screen.
I don't see anything. What are you looking at?
Check the shield.
There's a shield there?
There is a shield there. The
You
shield
must
that
be-
nobody wants.
You must be talking about the camo shield. I don't see any.
And that shield actually will now come into play. Definitely Ice Shield against that nasty Griffon spell will neglect some of the damage.
Yeah, even if it was cursed, this would be the place to be stuck with an ice shield. And even so, the next set of monsters are going to be primarily water, so you're still going to be pretty well off for quite a few floors. So you have a pretty decent chance of being able to decurse it and swap out. So I don't dislike it. Having the guaranteed curse-free leather shield at this point, though, is also still a pretty good option, I think.
The Razor takes back the lead after clicking yes. Let's see. Moment of thinking. No, the lead probably will still stay on Chimera's side. Yeah, there you go. Razor decides to still fight that volcano. In the meantime, Chimera gets to floor 12 first. But they're almost like at the same place.
Do they go for the blue collar? They haven't really. Oh, okay.
There you
Razor
go.
does go for the blue collar.
And Razor also saw an elevator on the spin, I presume. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, Chimera would just went.
Oh,
to
no!
Oh, another
Another frog.
frog trap right next to
No,
the elevator
no.
again.
Go to the elevator. Or maybe. Okay, now that CUNY probably has a chance to win.
He should only be. Yeah, he should
Okay,
be
there you
fine.
go.
Thankfully, that volcano didn't wake up. That could have been bad. Now, does Chimera go and look for the blue collar? Neither runner has really put it to use at all, but it is nice to have it as an option. She doesn't know that the blue collar is just south of the elevator room here.
But in the meantime, Razor does take the lead because of that. Thank you, Sen Knight, for explaining the rules. Yeah, the rules of the tournament are very simple. Whoever gets higher in all of the rounds, not just single climb, whoever gets higher wins the round. It's best of 3, and currently we are in the last match, a decider. Both of our runners won one round. That window at the bottom of their game feed shows 2 floors. Currently for Razor it will show 14. The first floor says what is the current floor that they're on, and the second floor says what is the highest floor that they reach throughout all the tower climbs in this particular seed. So whoever at 1 hour mark will have the higher floor, that one wins the round. If they both end up on the same floor, whoever got to that floor faster is the one winning the round.
Yeah, this is a bit of a unique style format where we're allowing the re-entry, so we have to change up the layout a little bit because it can be kind of confusing with who got to where first. So yeah, this is aimed at the newer runners, like Sandknight's saying. Thank you, Sandknight, for being on point with chat answers there.
Oh, we can see Chimera actually hatching the egg, so that is a really nice thing to see. I'm not sure whether Razor has checked the second wand. I know that one of the wands was Scarlet wand, so he gave it up. But I would want to see him still search for the stream wand just in case.
Oh, what is this?
Oh.
A 99% stop?
Yeah.
What a tease! The tease.
Chimera, how can you tease us so much? We do want to know. I think it was floor 10 egg, right?
I think so. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
seen another egg yet.
It could be a clown, it could be a U-boat. U-boat is definitely something that some of the newer runners may not know how to use to the full potential. I don't know whether Chimera knows. I know that Razor knows a little bit. He probably has seen it in some of the previous matches, but I don't think that he has used it ever himself. So who knows?
Ooh,
And there
but a
is
floor 15 egg. Now that is truly interesting.
and there is a ball next to it. We do want that ball as well. Ice rock ball, that's nice.
It's a pretty good one.
It's decent.
It's not maybe the one that you want to see, but it's useful nonetheless.
Floor 16 with a very bad starting room. Hopefully we can get out of it quickly.
Yeah, and this, from the design of it, looks like it might be a pretty small floor as well.
Or
As
just
far
one
as
starting room. Oh, that's not a nice room with that sleeping Manoiva.
Oh yeah,
we gotta
I'd
deal with
rather
that troll.
exactly get the high ground, kill that troll in 2 hits.
AI1, Scarlet wants. I don't think that you can do it with one hit. You do gotta take it. Oh yeah, you
just
can.
barely, just barely.
And there you go, just in time before the Manoiva woke up. So we've got time to walk away safely. We do want to know what these eggs are. Come on, people. Don't make us wait. Chimera, did Chimera find the blue color? I don't know in the end.
Don't think she did. I think she was starting to get swarmed in that elevator room, killed a few things, and then left. But I did not see for sure. I believe we were looking at Razor at that moment, so...
Razor, no, okay, I guess you just wanted to take the hit. This is not a way to juke Manoivas. And now you are in a very,
Oh
very tough
yeah,
spot.
this is bad. He does have a wind crystal if he so chooses. He's not going to have a lot of time to really get back, though.
I think right now it's like Olim and Palompa egg time.
Or Olim fire, get rid of the Garuda there.
Chimera was not in a good position either. Okay, yes, that's the Tamna. Ice Rock on the other side, set Cuny to AI1. Okay, Chimera will be able to deal with the... Or will she? With the new wool, but there is still...
the Olims were designed specifically for Krakens and Snowmen.
Oh, Razor, now you are in a very tough spot. Now, I don't think that there is anything that you can do. That Cuny is as good as dead.
He's gonna have to sacrifice some eggs here. And even then, I think he's still gonna need it. I think crystalling out is the choice here.
That
and it's not the choice you really want to make, but
yeah, there you go.
It's better to keep the Scarlet Wand and all of that than it is to
but we might know now
the
what
dodge.
These eggs are.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So let's switch audio to Chimera's side, although technically Razor is still in lead. Dreamin' and Griffin, just a Dreamin'. I would take that. Oh no. Cuny is actually higher level, yeah.
Yeah, if hatching it here, they'd start at level 1. I would consider still keeping the eggs, though. Knowing what they are, they can make some really good bombs.
Oh yeah. The other way
I'd
around, you
definitely
sell
keep the
wood.
leather shield and the scarlet wand as well. And the fireball.
Oh,
He sold a lot of the items that I would have liked to see him keep. He kept the wood and the ice shield though.
Olean, eggs. There were plenty of items to keep. But yeah, now Chimera seems to be in a little bit better situation because there is 33 minutes into the game, and Razor has to climb back all of these floors again, and it's not gonna be very quick
Yeah, I
probably.
mean, he does have the advantage that he does have a Scarlet Wand and a significantly leveled up Cune at this point, so he should be able to pretty quickly get past the early floors. But that's still going to take him a few minutes at minimum, and that's going to give Chimera probably all the time that she needs to even up the score here. She's already on floor 15, so things are not looking great for Razor right now. Though Chimera will eventually have to deal with the same floor and could very well end up in the same situation as Razor did. And unless she hits floor 17 first, in that situation, Razor would still have the lead. So we'll have to see what happens here.
It is 1 hour. At 1 hour, we are calling it. And there is that floor 15 egg.
Yeah, Septic, I think there was a bit of mistake on what was sold there. You also have to consider he does realize he's on a time crunch here, and wind crystalling out was probably not his go-to option there. So he's probably feeling a little flustered and just wants to get back in it. And wasn't really thinking about some of the items. Like I said, I would have liked to see him keep the fireball and maybe an egg or two. And definitely the leather shield or the ice shield. Both are good options. But yeah, I think there was definitely some mistakes made with the selling there.
We can see Chimera hatching the egg. I don't really know whether it will be that griffin egg or dreaming egg.
I think it should be the griffin egg based off of Razor's inventory.
Okay, then yeah, will she switch to griffin? Because if it's hatched, why not use
Uh,
it?
yeah, I don't think I would.
Yeah, it's a griffin. Oh, another scarlet wand on Razor's side. But he's taking way too much time on this first floor. There is no need for it. His CUNY is level 12. Just browse through them, pick up any items that you find on the way. If you don't, that's a loss. But you need to catch up. So yeah, we can see that Chimera is actually continuing using CUNY. So most probably she is dedicated to that familiar.
Oh, actually, considering what floor she's on, I probably would switch to the Griffin just for
Yeah.
the picket immunity. Kuhn is the same level. He did have a little bit more experience on him than the Griffin would have, but I think having spent the time hatching it and considering where she's at, yeah, I think Griffin is the way to go here.
Now I'm trying to remember. It's the fact that yeah, if she did find the blue color, I don't know whether she did. She can just fuse that griffin.
She could, yeah, she could pass on the steel proof or picket proof or whatever it's called. The hidden trait of the Griffin can be passed through fusion. It's a little confusing with that because I don't believe that it's actually mentioned in the box when it tells you the traits that you passed on, but it is passable trait. I don't know. I'd kind of like to just see the Griffin just so it's not always Kuhn, you know? We haven't, I don't, other than the Newell for a little bit last seed, we haven't really seen any familiars be used outside of Kuhn, so that would be fun to see. And like we said before, it is functionally the same familiar. It just has a little bit less MP. They're both liftable. They're both fire. They both be the, well, I guess it would be a level lower now because she did level up since she hatched it, but essentially the same monster.
And now her Cuny is actually quite low on MP. Well, she does have eggs that she can feed. Oh, there is our like favorite gacha machine.
And this very well could get rid of her MP problems. But yeah, that is a good point as well. The Griffin would have full MP, so if she does have the blue collar, she could give Kuhn the steel proof.
Roche fruit!
Roche fruit. Okay.
Now it's a game.
Yeah. What does she do with it though? Does she go for a Griffin immediately? Does she hold on to it for a bad spot? Does she go for a block or an Arachne fusion? There's so many options here.
It depends on the fact whether there is a blue color here. If there is, we can think of fusion. If there is nothing, then still, like, do you go for Garuda? Are you experienced enough for Garuda, or?
Yeah, and that was the first throw as well. That's incredibly lucky. Is that another one? Oh, man. Can you imagine if that had been another one? My heart skips a beat every time I see a fruit come out of those guys.
I can understand why.
So the reason that we're all kind of freaking out about the rose fruit is that it's an incredibly rare item to find. It's like 1 in 4,000 or something like that. And its use is that you throw it at a monster and it immediately turns it into an egg. So it's literally a pick and choose what monster you want to have as an egg. Very, very, very useful.
But now the question is, what do you use it on?
Yeah.
It doesn't have really any monsters that we would be interested in. But floor 17, I believe, is the last floor where you've got Garuda. Unfortunately for Chimera, the chance for meeting Garuda on that floor is actually much. There you go.
And yeah. she does go for the Garuda. Very nice.
Garuda strat.
Oh, so Shawnee did teach safe Garuda strats. Let's see if that gets put into play. The Garuda, now that we have it as a familiar, has the lovely ability to abduct Ko, which will lift him up and put him in a random space inside of a room. And there's 2 ways you can go about it. You can either directly abduct Ko, or you can abduct a tile adjacent and walk into it. If you abduct the tile and walk into it, we call it the safe strat because it usually prevents you from being able to take damage when you land. It's not perfect. There are some niche cases where you can still land like right next to a monster that had queued up an attack and you'll still take damage, like right there. That if there was a monster there, that probably would have been a hit anyway. But it's generally like 95% safe. So, and it does look like she's using the walk into strat. So, very nice.
Definitely, and like someone mentioned in the chat, this could seal it because having a Garuda lets you pretty much go about every single situation very safely. The only situations that are like very scary to you are traps. You cannot do anything about traps. Other than that, you can just, you've got a problem, you teleport away.
And the kicker is that you would think that an ability like that would be really expensive, but it's actually really cheap. As far as abilities go, it's probably the cheapest ability in the game to use. Generally, even if you start at like floor 1 with the Garuda, you can usually get to 40 with like 1 PETA. It's really cheap, like absurdly so.
And this is exactly what we will be seeing right now. Teleport until you get to the elevator. Eventually, every now and then we might see a little bit of a walk if those Garuda teleports are not very favorable to us. But mostly it's gonna be probably teleporting.
Yeah, I think the general preferred, at least my preferred method, is to run as much as you can and teleport when you need to. Because teleporting is to a random location, where running is you can go directly to a room or explore a little bit. But yeah, incredibly useful familiar. And one that I completely overlooked in casual play. Like I said before, it was a monster that I deemed as a useless monster until I started learning speedrun strats, and my entire world was kind of turned upside down by it.
I guess that can be said probably about almost everyone who played this game casually. I never heard a single story where somebody was saying, "Oh yeah, I was always using Garuda." Because let's be honest, when you play this game casually, you do just feel happy having super powerful familiar with which you can destroy everything. You don't feel like running away from battles. Oh,
Yeah,
that is
yeah, because I mean, a lot of times, especially in casual, you kind of want to explore the whole floor, get all of those red sands, the blue sands, things like that. So it is understandable, and it doesn't. I mean, it's not like the ability says that it can lift Ko either. And the way that it's never used on Ko in the wild. It's only used to take your familiar away. So you would think that it's only used for taking other monsters away, and then you lose your familiar. It's just a mess. Like, why would you ever want to do that? But having it be usable on Ko completely changes the game, literally. And as you can see, like, you don't ever really have to fight an encounter ever again.
as you can see also right now, it can be also very annoying because it's
Yeah,
completely random where you're gonna get teleported. You can get teleported to exactly same location, and there is no guarantee that you're gonna get teleported anywhere near the elevator.
yeah, and
So
that's why I generally like to run on foot as much as I can, just because I can guarantee that I can explore a little bit of the floor by running on foot, whereas teleporting is just random. You can go to the same room 4 times in a row.
now the situation looks grimmer and grimmer for Razor. He's currently on floor 7, and Chimera is on floor 19. 12 floors, and there is nothing indicating that Chimera would be stopping. She doesn't have to really use any resources right now, so if she ends up in a bad situation, he's got ways out. She also has a restore scroll just in case that Garuda will die randomly. And even if Chimera dies right now on floor 19, Razor would have to get to floor 20, which is 13 floors in 14 and a half minutes. That's gonna be tough. Based on the performance of our runners, as good as they are, that is not yet the pace that our runners are showing here.
Yeah, with Chimera having a Garuda now, this is looking very bleak for Razor. I mean, he can still pull through. Like Chai said, if the unfortunate thing were Chimera were to die here, unfortunately she hatched the Garuda in the tower, so she would not have access to it in another climb. So she would have to hope that whatever floor she died on would hold up for her score.
Oh, floor 21.
And
Looks
it is a little unfortunate as well that the Garuda is wind element, so it's prone to being killed by things like bomb traps and such. So it's generally preferred to feed it any kind of an elemental seed, but she doesn't have any. So she's kind of hoping that it doesn't die in a fiery explosion like it is pretty apt to do. So.
there you go. Teleport to exactly the same room.
Yeah, and that's where the safe Garuda strats come into play. That's kind of the only way that you're not really safe, other than if you walk into a trap. You have to teleport within a certain amount of tiles of an enemy. Like, you have to be right next to one and then teleport right next to it again to still be hit by it.
In the meantime, Razor having trouble of being in the elevator room and finding a warp trap. His CUNY is quite powerful for this floor, so as long as it's not gonna be matched up against a U-boat, it should be fine. But you do need to get back to that CUNY. In the meantime, those starting rooms are absolutely horrible for Chimera. But again, Garuda is helping you with these rooms. You don't have to worry too much about them.
Yeah,
And it's already floor 24 with an elevator.
and that's one of the really nice things about the Garuda is that all of your items that you have can now be used for you teleport into the you start in the elevator room or you teleport into it and there's a monster. You just use whatever you got to get to the elevator quickly. And I mean, because you don't really have to fight anything anymore. So you can just use whatever you have for that little bit of extra speed. So, because you really don't want to warp into an elevator room and then have to warp out, because you never know how many warps it's gonna take to get back.
CUNY is pulling through, even fighting at Bloom. There is a level difference, so that makes up for the fact that CUNY is wrong element for fighting Blooms. And luckily for Razor, he was able to like get back to CUNY. But again, 11 minutes back into the game and he's only on floor 9 while Chimera is already on floor 26. I think it looks a little bit impossible to
Yeah, this is
catch up.
becoming quickly unsurmountable.
But yeah, I'm actually quite happy seeing that there is finally a Garuda in this tournament and used properly. That's always nice thing.
And from a Roche, no less. Like,
That's like Wuga strat.
yeah, that's just pure Garwuga strats right there.
Yeah, so like the strat is like either like don't die, right? So that's strat number 1. Second, get Roche from Barong so that you can get a Garuda. That's strat number 2. Any other like brilliant strats?
Pretty much the worst thing that could happen to Chimera at this point is she loses the Garuda. I mean, outside of dying, obviously, is that she loses the Garuda.
Look at this room, Revan. Oh, it's so horrible. You do want to get
Yeah,
to
I
that
mean, she has
elevator,
the
but
acid rain. Yeah, oh, it didn't kill the snowman, though.
oh, luckily for her, Garuda is wind in this case, so wind best element.
For now, yeah.
But there is a holy bell. What are we waiting for? This is the time for the holy
True.
bell.
Yeah. The holy bell is the way to go here.
Okay, you can take another hit from a snowman, but
Yeah, with the 2 medicinal herbs, that's not the worst option ever.
yeah.
Yeah, it is probably a good idea to heal up before you start warping around. There is always that slim chance you can still get hit by something.
You can always step on a trap as well.
Yeah. I
Razor
kind of
is.
would like to see her heal up the Garuda too. A bomb trap would be really bad at this point.
I'm happy that Chimera didn't play with Zeus. Shoni being her teacher and all. We love you, Shoni. Yeah, so Razor is on floor 12, 15 floors difference, 8 minutes. Let's see how it goes. We will let our runners play until 1 hour mark because I'm really interested in how far Chimera can go.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Razor has the inventory to beat his floor count right now as well. So while he probably won't be able to take this round, we can let them see how far they can get, because that is kind of the point here. We're trying to get our new runners to improve in their runs, get them a little more comfortable with playing the game in a fast setting, and being on speed gaming in general as well. This is the first time that they've been on for some of them. So yeah, we'll let them play this out.
This floor seems to be a little bit annoying for Chimera. She's teleporting a lot and still no idea where the elevator is.
Yeah, it can
Oh,
be
there
kind
you go.
of. Ooh, and that's yep,
And that
probably a Maneva. Yep.
uh,
She does have the Oleam.
she can
She can
take
take
15.
another hit. Yeah, she can take another hit. Needs to protect that
Oh, not
Garuda.
like that,
Ooh.
not like that. Now you
Oh,
got a
yeah, now it's the Oleam. Yeah. She could have taken another hit. I would have liked if she protected the Garuda though. Its HP is precious.
definitely.
I'd also like to see her check some seeds. There was an item room that had some seeds in it that I don't think she checked. The getting off of Wind Element is kind of a big deal for me.
People in a room. Luckily for her, that Maneva doesn't wake up, and there is floor 29. Razor in the meantime finds an elevator to floor 14.
And I mean his inventory is okay. He's got the egg. What floor did he find that egg on?
Oh, that was very early. I think it was floor 3 or something like this, so that cannot be anything exciting at all.
Not really. He doesn't really have a whole lot to play with. He has the sleep ball and an Oleam. That's kind of the only really standout things. The Mahel can be useful.
I just thought of something, and I guess I got to consult with our pun master here in the chat. Like, I don't know, like, has anybody ever used it, and is it even a pun? Like, do you spell exciting with two G's?
Sometimes. I know Sand Knight does.
But yeah, we can see floor 30. Did we see Beldo in this match yet? I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think in this matchup. I don't think we have.
Razor got to floor 30, right?
Yeah, I think he died on floor 30 to that horrible starting room.
Yeah, lots of killers. And there you go. We will have Beldo. So we will have a first instance of story in this game. I do like to ask, Revan, you've got 15 seconds. Explain the story of this game.
Bad guy did a thing. Dad didn't come home. Meet him at the top of the tower.
Yep, that's pretty sums it up. So now we just gotta get to floor 40 to meet him up at the tower. Razor is getting to floor 15, one more floor to match his current floor. But somehow I feel that, like, even if Razor didn't have to wind out, him not having a Garuda would make this race very, very, very tough for him to win. Oh, Razor used the trap scroll. That's interesting choice.
I don't think he had any activated though, so it didn't really do anything.
Yeah. And there is an egg on floor 32.
Nice.
Nothing
That's a nice bomb. If
exciting.
yeah, it's a nice bomb if we teleport into an elevator room. So I
Now you
guess
gotta
it is.
really watch out for
I
that
guess.
Garuda.
I guess it is a good thing that Shoni got a Garuda in practice, huh?
I guess. So now we are in a territory of one of our favorite monsters called glaciers that we see right now on the screen. They're very trigger happy with using their ability that we like to call curling. They push a huge ice block at you. You can use it to your advantage many times, but the thing is that this ice block is water element. And your Garuda is wind element. So if that hits Garuda, that's probably a one-hit kill. So you do gotta
Uh,
watch out for that.
wind is strong against water.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Why did I think this? Oh, I know why did I think this way. Because I saw Garuda died to a dragon breath. Yeah.
No, don't. Oh, please don't ever do that.
Yeah, so that is the monster that you can watch.
No, did it? Did it? Oh no,
Yeah, there you go. But don't worry,
no.
Chimera has a restore scroll. There is no problem here. Crisis
That
averted.
yeah, that is true. I think I wish she would have used it there with the holy scroll already, or the holy bell already being in effect. But
Yeah,
luckily, that dragon in this room is asleep.
and yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
The run continues.
Yeah, I think she should have picked up the Garuda there. It was already risky walking into the room to use the holy bell, and then yeah, that was really risky. Thankfully, she had that restore scroll. Maybe that's why she opted to do it that way.
35. I guess there is 1 minute left in this 1 hour time. I don't think that like she's able to reach 40 in 1 hour. It's pretty much impossible. But I guess we can let her climb, right? We can like squeeze the interview a bit.
We
Because
still have about a little over 10 minutes left before our time is up. We can let her try and just give it a little bit less on the interview time. It is always nice to see a 40 climb, and it feels really good as a runner to be able to do it, so. So we have heard all of the music for the tower. In the vanilla tower, anyway. I prefer the second to last on the killer floors. I think it's the most
go wrong.
tense.
This is
No.
the best one. I love this tranquilizing feeling of, almost getting there. But you're also wrong by saying that we heard all the music. How dare you? You forgot the best music ever.
What is that?
Monster Den, my friend. Monster
Uh,
Den.
True, true. We heard that yesterday. Twice yesterday, actually.
Oh yeah, Razor had a very, very unlucky situations where he hit Monster Den twice.
He did manage to kill everything in one of them, though, which was pretty entertaining. So, yeah, we have officially passed the 1 hour mark. Chimera wins this match and or this round and the match. I think we're gonna let her try and get to 40 though. Like I said, it's always nice to see a 40 climb. It feels really good as a runner to do it, and as a new runner, it probably I would imagine it feels even better because I think a lot of the runners that are in this tournament have never completed the tower in one go. So I'm pretty sure we saw an elevator on the spin there on 38.
It's very close to get. Yeah, there you go. There is just one golem that you have to deal with, but that pillar ball will make quick work of it. There is an egg as well. And
Oh,
that
that trap could
paralysis
have been
trap.
so bad. 39, one more floor to go. And right next to the elevator. Very nice. That is 240 clears we got today. Alright, and we have a few minutes. We're probably going to have to keep this short, but we have a few minutes for an interview. We can get them in.
And we already have Razor here. Hello, Razor. GG.
Hello.
GG.
Hey, GG's.
We are still waiting for Chimera, but while waiting, we'll ask you some questions, Razor. How do you feel about today's game?
Second game tilted me a little bit, even though I won, because 5, I think the first time in, I forgot I had the restore scroll, didn't look at the screen display, and winded out.
Yes, we were wondering what was the reasoning behind it, but now we know. So it was just like a small misplay there. But at the heat of the moment, things like that happen.
Yeah. First game, I think I played pretty well. I think I got to 24 again.
Yeah, and both of the first two seeds were incredibly close for a long time. The first seed, you guys traded the lead back and forth maybe 3 or 4 times, and Chimera just barely pulled ahead in the last like 10 minutes or so. The second seed was much the same up until again about like the 10-minute mark or so, and you pulled ahead by a few floors. And the third seed was a bit of a surprise to everybody. Chimera hit floor 16, and on her very first throw at a barong, she found a roast fruit. Threw it at a Garuda and is actually fighting Beldo right now.
Yeah,
GG's to her then. My
until
God.
that moment, you were actually ahead by around 3 or 4 floors. It was just like that unfortunate situation that you got yourself into. There was no really way out of it, and that's pretty much where you lost the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, now
Welcome,
we also have
Chimera.
Chimera. Hello, hello, GG.
GG's. That's the second 40 climb we've seen today. How do you feel about that?
Hmm. Might not be ready.
Yeah. So
Yeah, maybe some mic problems. We'll get back to that.
yeah,
Yeah, so
I think. Go ahead.
the third seed, I don't know. I think I just got trapped with a
Yeah,
lot of
there were Manoivas around, and like 2 Manoivas or 3 Manoivas even, and a Garuda, and that was very tough situation to deal with.
yeah, and I just noped out because I figured, yeah. A quick question: if I had reached 16 and I, it's not a guarantee I would have gotten the same RNG, right?
I don't
No,
believe so. I'm pretty sure it's based on like the steps taken and things like that.
Yeah,
So
so even if I had done that, I wouldn't have gotten a roast route. So yeah,
yeah, that
one.
that was like a very tough spot for you because again, even if there was no Garuda there, um, you reached on your second climb what floor 19. So that was
Yep.
very that might have not been enough. Of course, like it all depends on whether Chimera would have been able to like go higher or not. But still, there is nothing to fret about. Both of you actually showed really, really amazing knowledge of this game, and that's exactly what this tournament is about. And I'm very content with watching
Yep.
both of you play.
Yeah. Second, I could have gone a little, like one or two more floors if I didn't get surrounded by killers.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that
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 was
one was.
just that was just awful. Spawning in between two of them, another one coming at you, and then getting into the big room, seeing the exit, getting hopeful, and then another one just comes in. There wasn't anything you could do. You had to
Yeah.
rely on like 3 dodges to get out of that situation. It's just unrealistic. It was a
Yeah.
solid climb though. You did really, really well.
Yeah. Hi, Chimera.
Hey,
Hello, hello. Now we can tell you congratulations not only on the win but also on the 40 climb.
thanks.
Congrats.
I'm stoked.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, I got to floor 30 on the second game
Dang, nice. Good work.
until I got pincered by 4 killers and got killed.
Ah, okay, gotcha. What did I get swarmed by? Was it like Vipers or was it the Manuevas? 424. I don't even remember.
Vipers, I believe.
Yeah, I heard the incredible luck you got on the third game.
Yeah, wasn't it the very first roll too. I threw it and it was a roche fruit as the first thing.
Yeah,
What is
very
what
first
is
throw.
luck?
And we were debating on what you were gonna do because you're kind of a wild card. You came out of nowhere and joined this tournament, so we weren't sure if you knew the Garuda strats or felt comfortable with it. We had missed if you found a blue collar in the third one, so we weren't sure if fusion was an option. Like, oh, is she gonna try and get the blocker and arachne? There was so many options at that point.
Yeah.
Question.
But yeah,
Now,
you went with the Garuda and did very well with it. Congratulations.
did you practice
Thank you.
Garuda, or was it the first time that you played with it?
That's the second time, but the very first time I tried doing speedrunning strats while being coached by Shawnee, I happened to get a Garuda egg, and I did get experience with it after watching him do a run where he got the same thing by chance with a random seed. So I got to watch it, and I got to play it one time before this.
Yep. If I had gotten the same luck or item, I would have thrown it at a Garuda as well.
Yeah, that would have been neck to neck. I feel like I was
Uh,
running a little bit behind because I kept hoarding items as like emergencies. But the restore scroll came in clutch because my Ruda died.
Yep. Chances are I wouldn't have gotten the same roll because that's a different RNG that can't be set by the randomizer.
Yeah.
If you rewatch this game, and I definitely recommend doing that because that's a good way to learn, watching mistakes, etc. You would notice that like the pattern more or less was this way: that like on early floors, usually the Chimera was in the lead. Then in like around floor 10, something like that, Razor was starting to pick up and usually getting like 3 to 4 floors lead, and it all depended on whether Razor died or not. For example, in seed number 1, Razor was ahead until, was it 58th minute or 57th minute of the match? That's exactly when we called it, when Chimera got to one floor higher because Razor died at some point. So yeah,
Yep.
that was very close. What if Razor didn't die in that one? He could have very much taken it. So again, really great gameplay from both of you.
I'm glad we did.
GG's. Good luck in the next match.
Yep.
Thanks. This was a really great learning experience in general, and just it was fun. This is just fun.
Exactly. That's what we are here for. This game is fun. As much as it is annoying many times, like some traps that you cannot do anything about, or bad RNG like Razorhead with like, that starting room with 3 killers in it. Nothing you can do about it. You die to it, you laugh it off, and you just continue and have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Revan, anything else that you would like to add?
No. That concludes week 1 of the Start tournament. This is technically the first match of round 2. But yeah, that concludes it for us this week. Thank you to Speed Gaming for allowing us to stream on your channels. Thanks to Razor and Chimera for playing for us and providing us some lovely entertainment tonight. And Chai, being my co-commentator, always a pleasure, sir. But I think most importantly, we need to thank you, chat, because you guys make this fun. And I think that's all I got. Unless you got anything, Chai.
Thank you, Revan, for organizing the tournament, because if nobody knows that yet, he is the one who pulled it all off. So thanks, Revan, for the hard work. And again, thanks to you, runners. Thanks to you, chat. Thanks to you, Speed Gaming. And see you next time.
Yep. See you next week.
Yep.
Bye,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye.
That concludes it
Peace.
for us this week. Thank you to Speed Gaming for allowing us to stream on your channels. Thanks to